What if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? And what if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start? What if I miss out on the life meant for us? I need you by my side. I need you by my side. I need you by my side.
Hello, and we're back to Harmony. And I see Anna is here, so that's good. Hi to, in advance, to anyone who's going to join or anyone else who's lurking. I'm gonna go straight into the game because God knows how long this is going to be. Going straight to gaming screen because I always forget, and once it opens, I'm kind of stuck. And goodbye music. Also, I was so right on the money yesterday because recently anyone who follows me is already pissed off because I think there is a 10-minute rule that I at some point added that you have to be in stream for like 10 minutes before you can like first time chat, which I don't think is that bad. And on the other hand, my auto moderation, I guess with my keywords, is working like a charm as well, because whatever they posted was immediately hit with the auto moderator, which very likely was like, "Hi, would you like to buy followers?" It's insane to me that that is even still something that can be said in chats. At this point, I don't know. Twitch should just outright ban the whole sentence. This gives me Death Stranding vibes as a cover. So Anna is caught up. For anybody else, we at this point I don't even know. We had two options: either go with Ursula's plan, Oma and Laszlo were in favor of her plan, or go with Jade's plan. If we had gone with Ursula's plan, Jade would have left us. But nobody on Ursula's side said, "Oh, if you don't go with her plan, we're gonna leave." So we went with Jade's plan. We met all the aspirations. We asked them for the egregore, but things weren't as black and white. We had Yana. They also helped us. But yeah, so basically we had the protests. But then because Ursula was still trying to force her way through her plan, which put all the prescients on the island at risk, that also affected Nora, who we found out is also prescient. So we didn't take Bliss's egregore because that was put towards protecting Nora, and the consequence of that was basically Jade leaving the protest to go and be with Nora. Well, that was the second one. But either way, we decided for that because we figured somebody else would like pick up the protests. We then found out that Yana had indeed managed inside MK to turn security against the company. So there was a whole bunch of deserters, and it seemed like the tide was turning. And then we got to bond, but we needed to decide whether we wanted to take a little or a lot of egregore, because Chaos kept stealing it from us as well. And in the end, push came to shove, and we tried to save Laszlo because we knew he was hurt. And I only took a little egregore from Bond, but unfortunately Laszlo did pass away and is now hailed as a martyr after the protests and everything. MK is not completely destroyed either, but we did make our way to glory, and we blocked the modified egregore flowing into her domain, and something happened and we lost contact to Reverie, and we've been in this weird cycle of like sleep, get up, shower, go to bed, sleep, and so on. And we've talked with people. I've talked with Ursula as well, who doesn't seem as remorseful as I would like her to be. I mean, because she put Nora at risk knowingly. And she is kind of also at fault for Laszlo's death, because we saw on the augural that even if we had gone with Ursula's side, Laszlo would have split off because he wasn't agreeing with it. So this is kind of where we are in Act 4. Ma maison est hantée lorsque j'y suis. What the typos in that, and there is no capitalization in French after the start of a letter or proper names, so all of that is yeah, Ma maison est hantée. At least the female ending is correct, but lorsque is written with a space in between. Lorsque j'y suis, yeah, the rest is fine, but my French is like So we drank the modified egregore and we went back. I think maybe I messed up. My clothes and hair are soaked with sweat. My ears ring, my vision's blurry, my mouth's dry. There's a warbling, eerie droning inside my head that won't stop. As if by instinct, my fingers curl tightly around my necklace, and reality dissolves around me. That vision. Everything collapses as my consciousness opens on a new world. Yeah, because we saw another trailer and it seemed like Chaos died, Truth died, Bond died, literally strangled by his own tree. Bliss was in a dire situation, and we had Power looking at a broken world. I squeezed my eyes shut as gusts of unearthly wind whipped past me. I feel like shit, like I drank too much. Did the egregore do this to me? More likely. I would not have touched that. The horrible vision, what was that all about? What happened to the aspirations and the red sky? Uh-oh. There's a brief sensation of falling from a great height. Ugh, my worst nightmare. Then a sharp, hypnotic jerk as I leant hard on my feet, gasping for breath. All around me are familiar faces assembled around the missing heart. The sky above is crimson. So they're all there. Chaos is nearest to me, and our eyes are the first to lock. I want to ask them about the vision, but I'll scream if I have to open my mouth right now. They smile. The usual smile. Horny. I love how that's the first adjective. horny, cocky, gorged with energy. This is how we love them. The vision must be a dream. I need to focus on what's in front of me. Focus on the
Chaos!
immediate.
You're okay? What happened to the heart?
From this close, I can see the subtle creases in their ageless painted face. Is that worry? It looks almost out of place on them.
Disappeared when Glory stepped down.
Yeah, we can definitely see
A
the
dream.
creases.
Yes, we did rather feel that.
Oof.
And it wasn't just a dream.
Wait, what?
It was a warning of what will come to pass if a heart isn't chosen. And soon. The clock is ticking, Harmony.
Yeah, but didn't that also mean, regardless of which heart we choose, that power will try to
Wait.
overthrow it?
What frivolous ideas will you try to plant in her mind next?
As if you did.
Oh, is that what we're going to do today? Fight?
Also, we need a whole bunch of crystals for glory. Truth glides forward, that icy stare sweeping over us
Now
all.
is not the time for petty squabbling between us. Now is the time for action.
Agreed.
I believe the action could stand to wait for our oracle to catch her breath.
Always so worried. Ooh. I'm gonna go with everyone, because I'm gonna get shit on if I go with Chaos and Glory. I need to put some serious consideration into which aspirations I should listen to. Actually, I already know which ones. They're all eager to advise me. I can't afford to withdraw into myself and lose track of what's happening in Reverie or Brittle. Most of the
We
aspirations
get
agree.
that you have a lot on your plate. But if you keep the momentum going, it'll strengthen our will. Make sense?
I see what you mean. Just keep doing things, making decisions.
Only by your efforts can the world be changed, and a new heart chosen. I recommend that you focus on what remains of your family. Face your grief together.
Easier said than
Yeah.
done.
Help each other through it.
But do not neglect the community around you. There is an energy in Brittle now, one that could unite people in action.
This is merely the calm in the eye of a great storm.
No pressure or anything.
That's a whole lot to think about, but I promise them I'll consider their words. So Glory and Chaos are not even talking in this case, which I don't like. Why are they locked out? Back in Brittle, I fumble around to my dresser drawer for painkiller. My body feels rusty. My left leg's numb. I must have slept on it funny. I hope that's just that, another side effect of the egregor. And I stink. Well, I mean, the last shower was 3 days ago? I grab a towel and head to the shower. I just need a few minutes to myself before I get back to thinking about everything else. I'll try to calm my racing mind and focus on the hot water running down my skin, on breathing in the sea. Ooh, I can never have a hot shower. For a little while, everything feels better. My phone dings. Anxiety wells up in my chest as I hastily rinse my hair and reach for my towel. Once my hands are dry, I grab my phone. It's a text from Yana. How are you doing? I hope today is a decent one on your end. All I can think of to reply is thanks, I appreciate it. What else can I say? I don't want to try to put any of what I'm feeling into words right now. I can't. But I do appreciate them reaching out. I know I need to focus, but even once I've showered and dressed, I still don't feel awake. There's a numbness and an aimlessness to everything. For a few minutes, all I can do is stare out the window. The Naiads looks the same as any other day, until I notice the growing pile of photos, candles, and flowers at the gate. So many people knew Laszlo. So many of us loved him. Well, the man owned a bar, which is generally the center of any social hub. Whether you drink or not. I'll have to talk to Ursula and Nora about this at some point. There's a lot piling up, emotionally and otherwise, and nothing much to do in the coming days. So let's have those uncomfortable talks. I can't stay in my room all day. Guess there's no coffee machine there. As I head out and past the guest room Omar uses when he comes to see Ursula and stays late. He's not there. So we've been like, what, 3 days he got to his own room? I have so many questions about the future. He might have before though. I mean, we don't know. We weren't gone for 5 years. There are so many different paths all going in different directions, but it's so much more disorienting than before. My powers still aren't what they were. Drinking that egregor definitely didn't solve all my problems. I mean, I guess the aspirations can come knocking again now, though. I thought I'd find them here. Nora and Ursula waiting for me in silence, keeping their distance from one another. Both have things to say, questions to ask, demands to make, wants, needs. I think Nora has a lot together for chess. All things I have to consider. Let's choose. Wish? Okay. This is probably Ursula's path. Yep. This is Nora's path. We're starting with Nora. I think we can do both. Nora needs some time away from the Naiads. It's been days since she left her room to go anywhere other than the kitchen. Today she seems to have regained some of her usual spark.
Hey.
Hey.
Weather's nice today.
Is it?
Yeah.
Great.
So, you wouldn't want to go to the skate park with me, would you?
Sure. I'd like to spend time with her. Really, that sounds exhausting. I'm still so sore and fatigued. This is the type of thing Glory told me to think twice about to preserve myself. Still, family bonding time is something we both need more than ever right now. So Glory would be... You need time to yourself too. Yeah, one of them is inevitable. I'll let it go. Just walk ahead. And this will influence these two. I know Glory, but at this point we're just exhausting ourselves. Agreed to go with her and we head out right away. Nora does her best not to look at the trinkets people have left for Laszlo. And we're definitely going towards giving the heart to Bliss.
Hate them?
It's a valid reaction. She clears her throat and pulls her scarf tighter around her face as we step out.
I'm glad people are thinking of him and love him, but he was my granddad. I've heard what they're saying on the Trivid and online. Some people are trying to make him into a symbol of MK's oppression, but like, that's my granddad they're talking about. And he's dead. I'd never wish this pain on anyone. But I wish people would think about how using his name and face for the movement makes us feel.
That is a very common situation.
But what good is it to call for a revolution and then refuse to get involved?
We're here. I mean, if you asked a lot of people... Chaos, yeah, I didn't do that, so... I refused Chaos has happened to be Glory, and then I didn't read the rest of it, but yeah, apparently this is still a consequence of that. Great! Yay! Done. Jade's here. The stakes are a lot lower than the last time we saw each other. She waves and walks over and water.
Hey, you two! How are you holding up?
You know, like shit.
Same.
Yeah, that's normal. Healthy, even.
Yeah, I'd be worried if they would say the contrary. I'm so glad we met her, that Nora has her support. Jade heads to the half-pipe while Nora gives me a quick refresh on how to keep my balance on rollerblades without cracking my head open. But step one would be to have a fucking helmet. It's been such a long time since I went skating. I scoot around the area so I'm more my speed and watch them go. After a while, Nora glides past me on her board and drags one foot to a controlled stop.
Hi. Would you hate me if I said I needed a change of scene and might sleep over at Jade's tonight?
Oh, absolutely not. Go, do you? Part of me wants to keep her close by, but I bite my tongue. I think she really needs this.
And I think you should go.
Yes.
Okay, how about this? That's kind of the reason I wanted you to come, so I could ask you that. To skate too, but yeah.
That was the main reason.
Still love you.
I'm feeling a little steadier on my feet, so skate after her, she zooms away. We can't be there for everyone, so this is great. Jade is taking a breather and checking her phone, but she gives us 2 thumbs up from a bench nearby. Okay, that's you. And nod towards the park equipment. Nora grabs her board and heads over. A moment later, she's sailing. I'd forgotten how good she is at this. I fumble with my shoes. My old rollerblades still fit, but the straps were always a tricky
We can
one.
go back for the training wheels if you want.
I roll my eyes. She grins and scoots off again. Once I'm finally on my wheels, it doesn't take me long to get the hang of things again. Really? Because I disagree. Because I dug up mine during the pandemic and... I mean, it's the same with ice skating. Usually every single year I was fine getting back into the feeling of like skating, but then like at least a decade passed, and then I think last year I tried again and it was horrible. I've unlearned everything. One foot in front of the other, don't push, slow smooth motions, use your arms for balance.
Still got it!
Yeah, I think it really depends how much time has been. Then we're together, Nora on her skateboard, me on my rollerblades and shaky legs. I would rather call this roller skates, because rollerblades for me is like the 4 in a row. We glide hand in hand. We soar, we love, and we forget our troubles for one blissful moment. What else can we do? Well, it's definitely better than nothing. Okay, so we're good with that. I do want to know about this too. You're not getting away. I can do both, I will do both. Over the last couple of days, Ursula's really been looking her age. The papery skin on her arms, the wrinkles around her eyes, the white hair. She looks so human. Vulnerable. She must hate it. Have I changed too? Yeah, I'm wondering if the version of her in Reverie was always her younger self and would still be her younger self now, or if it would be an apt representation of the current self.
I'll be going to the bar soon to do some cleaning and tie up loose ends, shutting off the electricity, water and such. I need help if you're able.
I tell her I'll let her know and she nods, brusque and businesslike. It's not long before my phone dings again. It's Yana offering to come by to get wasted and eat ice cream together. Could that be just what I need? Not getting wasted, but spending time with a friend. Ouch! Those are two hard fucking choices. Those he disappoint. Listen to them. Ow. Jesus. Which ones will these be? It would be glory and chaos. Respond to check on screen. Yeah, because bliss is really high with 38. Obviously, glory has none. I'd rather have a mix of all of them, but I don't know how that would be possible. He's at 19, 21, 32, so truth got quite a bit. 26. Even higher than Bond. I guess I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go with glory supplies because it didn't on one, I have to go the other. Taxi Hannah back in the affirmative, saying we have everything we need at home except for maybe the ice cream. They say they'll bring some. Time with them sounds like exactly what I need right now. Yeah, that order doesn't make sense. Oh, also Anna did inform me that it was like the last straw that broke the camel's back. And for some reason I had, because I had questioned that in the last one, I got stuck on German idioms, which is why the English one didn't cross my mind. Still weird questions about all of them. Ursula, I'm not ready to go to the bar. It's awkward, but not too dramatic. She leaves without a fuss, though I can tell she's disappointed. Well, I mean, the balance of like who disappointed whom in that relationship is definitely lower on her side. Yana arrives soon after. I'm expecting that awkward moment where they'll tiptoe around the situation, but no, they just go for it.
I'm so sorry about Laszlo. I can't change what happened, but I'll be there to support you.
It's a bit blunt, Yana style, but I know they mean it.
How about you, though? How have you been?
That's a very good question.
Well, I've been laid off.
Obviously.
And I might be charged with helping rioters loot government property or some other corporate bullshit to cover up police brutality.
I would take that letter and frame it.
But it could be worse.
I appreciate them not sugarcoating things. I guess we could both use a change
Let's
of
do
pace.
something to take our mind off things. I'm up for whatever you want to do.
I beckon them through the doorway and we head inside together. Have they ever been at an AM? Oh, hi. Okay, so you are going over to chaos. You're going over to nothing, and you only go to 1 chaos. Okay. Wait, Ursula's stash. Bunch of weed. Okay, that explains quite a few things. Yana's curious, so I'll show them around. Don't know if that's necessary. It has everything but Amontillado. Oh, visit Laszlo's cellar. So, do we go for the alcohol? Or do we go for the weed? Or neither? Okay, on both of them we get chaos. Relax in the sun. Bring Yana to the depot. Depot? I think I'm more likely to go this way, to be honest. Relax in the sun. Let's get the weed. Because I don't know how the alcohol one is going to end, but I think they both need something to take the edge off. As far back as I can remember, Ursula smoked weed, which is not legal here, but I totally get having different approaches based on legal status of your place of living. She uses different strains, some for relaxation and some for work, but Laszlo never liked the smell. But cigarettes are worse. One afternoon when I was 16, some friends and I lit a joint and passed it around. I liked it fine, but I haven't smoked much since. School kept me busy. Ursula found out, of course. She simply sighed, "Don't tell Laszlo." Yana's looking around Ursula's room now, touching things with open curiosity. Their paws at the teapot.
I don't like tea, but I hate coffee. I wish I could still drink hot cocoa like when I was a kid.
Nothing is stopping you. Let me tell that to anyone who's watching. If you want to drink hot cocoa, I'm allergic to it, unfortunately. If you want to drink it, just fucking drink it. Especially, like, even if it's work-related or something, just pour it into a tea or a coffee cup. Nobody's fucking questioning it. Maybe the smell, but then you're like, oh, I like my coffee sweet, so what?
What's stopping you?
Lactose intolerance.
See, I have a milk allergy, but with lactose intolerance, you can at least take pills that kind of deactivate it. I don't exactly know, but you have to take it half an hour beforehand. But yeah, this makes sense. I, on the other hand, would just die from it. And trust me, I've tried every single kind of substitute thing. I do have kind of like hot cocoa powder that doesn't have milk in it, which is really hard to find. And I pour some of that into my coffee. Although at the moment I also have salted caramel liquid and vanilla syrup and dark chocolate. So I kind of make my coffees taste like that without needing too much. But yeah, whether I do it with cream or with water or with a mix of water and cream, it's really never the same.
But I never learn from my mistakes. I'm still going to drink one tomorrow.
Hey, Roger. I shoot them and
I live my life in the fast lane.
When I show them the weed, they laugh.
Nice. Let's make it a party. Can we put some music on?
Maybe we don't want to get caught in the room. Right, this one. Huh. Oh wait, it's just opened. For yourself, yeah, we're doing that. Oh, maybe, yeah, I need this regardless of which one of the paths I got it now. While we're here, I show them around a couple of nearby rooms. We start with the living room with its arcade machine.
Terrible at this one. You must have played it all the time as a kid.
Nah, I think if something's always available, it loses a sense of novelty and interest.
Yeah. I'm not bad at it.
Are they gonna play? Next up, the kitchen.
What's with the oven?
I don't know. It's always been like that.
Why isn't the other furniture labelled?
That's a very good question that I've had since the beginning.
Social experiment.
They spend a few moments gazing out the window.
I don't really want to stay on a Tina forever. But if I had to, I'd love to live in a big place with a garden. Just like this.
They don't want to stay in a Tina. Well, well. I showed them the drawings Nora and I made when we were young girls. Laszlo and Ursula got so mad at us for those, but they never tried to get rid of them. Maybe they're impossible to erase. As I showed them the bedroom, Sid turned to me.
Your room isn't near the others?
I wanted some space when I was younger, before I went away to school.
Gotcha. Is your room part of the tour?
Depends where in the Naiads we end up.
We're sticking to the main building at the moment, so I doubt they'll get a chance to see it. Well, you never know. Obviously they're curious. Why is it still unlocked? Oh, because we have to do this one. Right. I'm sometimes blind. We're ready to settle in somewhere when the realization hits me. The ice cream's going to melt.
Let's get that ice cream into the freezer before it turns into soup.
Yana turns to me looking extremely serious.
There is no ice cream. I forgot to bring it. I thought maybe you'd forgotten, so I didn't bring it up.
The jig is up. You're a con artist.
I only have myself to blame. I'm sorry. Really.
It's okay. Let's see what else we have.
Inside the freezer are a couple of mint chocolate cones hidden between ice and crust containers. They've been there for a while, but
it's a lucky day. You like mint chocolate chip?
Well, if not, you have to start now.
It's in my top 3 flavors for sure. Thanks.
It doesn't take us long to demolish them. I'm starting to suspect that Yana's immune to brain freeze.
You're the hero Athena needs.
I disagree, but I'll take it.
You know I have to ask now, right?
What?
What are your other top flavors?
Oh, yeah. No contest. Pistachio and chili pepper.
Wow. I like pistachio as a kid, kind of, because it's my dad's favorite. I've never had any ice cream with chili pepper. Now I really want some because I like spicy shit. And I've always liked After Eight, so the mint chocolate thing is...
That's a thing? Spice cream?
That sounds amazing.
Spice cream is where it's at.
It's gonna be difficult to find something like that here, but I'm definitely looking into it, or I'll have to make it myself. It sounds so good, right? I don't know to which one. Anyway, do I want to stay here and do what we planned, or should we go somewhere else instead? I like the out in the sun idea. It still showed me the fucking lock. It's confusing the hell out of me. Yana climbs a diving board and sits legs dangling in the air.
That would be super embarrassing if I fell, dude.
Well,
I always land on my feet, though.
They are a cat, but I think there's a couch below.
Sounds like a broken ankle waiting to happen.
I promise, I'll be careful. The last thing you need is extra stress.
Yeah. I'll light up the joint and take a puff before passing.
How about some tunes?
Right. I turn on the tri-vid and guitar chords fill the room. Yana jumps up and starts busting a move, despite their precarious footing on the diving board. Honest to God, some Carol and Tuesday would be the perfect fate here. I notice they're keeping their feet still so they won't slip.
I'm not sure there's room for 2 people to stand up there.
Then we won't stand.
I climb to the top of the ladder and Yana offers me a hand to steady me as we sit down. They're now facing me instead of the empty pool. They purse their lips, gesturing for me to do the same. Then they stick the joint in my mouth and start moving to the music again, shimmying their shoulders. I follow their lead. It's silly, but there's no judgment in their eyes. Just the joy of cutting
I wanted
loose.
to be a dancer before life fucked me up.
Me too. I remember the brief time I took dance lessons. It was
What
fun.
happened?
Theo. He was a dancer at the same studio. He assaulted me. The next morning I woke up before him. I just grabbed my stuff and walked home.
Technically that would have needed a trigger warning, but I'm also glad it was kind of brought up in this way because #MeToo, and there is no right way to bring that up in conversations. I actually frequently kind of handle it like this as well in conversations, especially with new male friends, because it is something they need to be aware of.
Going back to the studio felt like sticking a needle in my own eye every day. I ended up quitting.
I don't blame her. And as they need to, but as in they need to be confronted with the reality that this happens to very likely every AFAB person in their life.
I'm so sorry, Anna.
Don't.
They touched my hand just
It's
for a
dealt
moment.
with. Or I've come to terms with it at least.
They smile sadly. smiled back. What else is there to say? I'm honored that they trusted me enough to tell me about something so true.
Wonder if I can still go on point.
On the diving board?
I'm sure I still can.
In normal shoes? On the dummy point, yeah. You need that cardboard shed. Okay, because I need that apparently to go that way. Diana gave
I've come twice. That's what she said.
That was so stupid. That was what Noah would call cringe. Gosh, I feel like a teenager.
I've come twice already to see your garden, your beautiful flowers. I'm glad you let me inside.
Heat rises to my face. Diana's innuendo is ridiculous. They're practically waggling eyebrows. I can't believe I'm blushing, but I am. Diana looks at me in disbelief that it worked so easily.
As I was saying, I've come here twice.
Here they paused, grinning at me. I do my best to keep my face calm.
Before the last time I was here. The first time your mother let the kids from Alma help with the garden.
I vaguely recall
You
that.
like gardening?
Nope. But still, it was nice.
And the second time?
You had a big party here during high school. Almost everyone was there.
I can't believe I don't remember whether we met at
This is a nice place. Especially when you see how much poorer Alma's getting.
It's true. We were lucky. Such a unique way of growing up. Ah, here's the sun. This is a huge property. In regular shoes? Nah. Nope. I do have, because I wasn't allowed to own... Oh my god, and they were so expensive, because I did ballet, obviously. And before we did any pointe training, we had to go to a doctor to sign off on that we were physically able to even do it. And the one I went to, he was like, yeah, sure, you can do that. So we bought the shoes, and it's a whole process of getting them, and then you have to sew the ribbons in yourself, and then obviously there is a lot of like, there's at least half an hour or an hour just being taught how to tie them correctly without like obviously cutting up your blood pressure. And we did all the training at the bar, which was fine, and I could do all of that, but as soon as we were supposed to like do the exercises in the open space of the room, I couldn't, because I cannot push my foot out far enough to actually stand properly on it. So, and then not too long afterwards I had my knee injury, which forced me to stop for 6 months. And yeah, then I was in a weird in-between, because I was basically training to become a major in ballet, and that's 2 years of training, and this was in the first year it happened. And I had to sit out for 6 months, and then there was no other class 2 years behind mine. So I was kind of like in between, because I was not gonna go back to another level 2 years below mine. And obviously I couldn't join my group anymore, because they were too far ahead by then, so I had to quit. That was the only option I had. Because otherwise it would be a major, and because you would only get these shoes to take home with you after 1 year of training, which also obviously didn't happen, so they kept them, even though we paid for them, and they're bloody expensive. And I'm still mad about that 20 years later, more than 20 years. But I did at some point buy some replacement ones to do, because I wanted to do some of the training exercise again at home. Granted that, again, I can't stand on them freely. But I do have those. And people underestimate how much goes into maintaining them. You also have to scratch up the soles in the beginning. Or at least that's how we were taught. Different schools might have different approaches. And you have to, not massacre, but like move them quite a bit so you can soften up the cardboard a tiny bit, but also not too much, because once it gets too soft, you are literally only standing on your own toes, and that is just painful. And I remember my trainer having training for shows that we put on, because we did quite a few spectacles over the time that I was there, and I saw more than once that her shoes were blood drenched because she went so hard, and the same with the other ballerinas. So it is definitely a hard sport. My sister and brother did dance, I did martial arts instead. Man, that's smart. I did some Wing Chun at uni, and I do miss it, but unfortunately the only place where they do Wing Chun here is further away, but I do like it over other martial arts because it doesn't have this whole ceremonial bullshit. Wing Chun is very straight up, straight to the point, instincts, and like training your reflexes. You do lose over time, you lose, I still have that, but you lose feeling in like one side of your forearm because of the exercises. But it is a really good sport and it's very good for first aid. I would have probably danced if I didn't feel like I was being talked down to like a toddler all the time. Yeah, I was just thinking about that yesterday because I started in a different school. And they were kind of inappropriate. Because I was begging my parents for 2 years to let me do ballet. I wanted to start ballet at 6, but I think I was only allowed to start it at 8 because I wanted to see if that was really something I was interested in. Granted, I was non-stop listening to operas the whole fucking time at that age. Nothing else, only classical music. So why was there any doubt? Nobody knows. But they sent me to like the closest one, which was called Jazz X, and obviously the focus was more on jazz, which I had no interest in, ever, in my whole life. I've never been someone interested in jazz. I just wanted to do ballet. But you always were forced into doing both. And they immediately pushed us towards doing like the spagat, whatever it's called. Splits, I guess in English is what it's called. Like against the pillar and on the floor, which is usually considered too early. And they were kind of a bit inappropriate because they would like give us like slaps on the ass if we weren't doing something properly. And as soon as I told my mom about that, after a few months of being very confused about it, she took me out again and we found a Royal Academy of Dancing, which is actually internationally respected, and that was run by a Russian trainer and her daughter. So, and there I had marvelous training and I did all the certifications in the Royal Academy of Dancing. Yeah, I miss that. I would have loved. But I also got heavily discriminated against once my chest started growing. Because you're not allowed to wear a bra underneath your tunics, but also the tunics are too flimsy to give you any kind of hold. So at one point I was made to wear 2 tunics over each other, which probably at more than one occasion almost made me pass out from like the heat that caused. So I was always being discriminated, because like on one hand you get discriminated against because you have too much chest, and then you also get discriminated against from the girls because they're jealous because you have a lot of chest. So it's like, couldn't win in that situation. But yeah. But thankfully later, at least I had a few years with ballroom dancing before the knee accident happened again and again. But yeah, that's why it very much depends on like which school and everything. But yeah, I went on a tangent. You're welcome, anyone who watches this later. I hope you skipped it if it's none of your interest. So we head to the garden and sit among the flowers the sun hasn't scorched. Eventually, the speck of warmth between my fingers vanishes as the joint goes out in my hand, grey ash fluttering away on the breeze. Yana points at my hair.
Feel free.
What? They scoot behind me and start combing their fingers through my hair.
Soft. Sometimes I miss my long hair. But I'd be too pretty. With great power comes great responsibility. Short hair's easier. People don't mistake me for a woman as much. Now, if I could just get jacked as hell, maybe they'd stop altogether. But I hate working out.
That sounds relatable. I share a chuckle. The sun caresses our faces. Yana's touch feels good, soothing even. But it still feels weird to let someone pamper me. They continue running their hands through my hair, separating a few sections to braid.
Should have brought a book or something.
You're such a nerd. I am too, though, so I'm one to talk.
From behind me, they smooth away my hair and lean in closer, their breath whispering along the side of my neck.
It's all right if you're bored. I won't take it the wrong way.
It's okay. I'm not used to just chilling.
How about we go somewhere else? There's still something we should do.
So, are we going to the room after all? I don't know, can I? Yeah, I can at least do this one. It's weird, because I can backtrack a bit. Yana gazes
I
out
always
through the
wanted
window.
to leave the island, but I couldn't. I guess there's no point wondering what my life would be like now if I had, but I can't help it.
Why did you want to leave so badly?
It's been weird to be here since I was 13. I never went away. I would have liked to move somewhere no one knows me and never come back.
That's not exactly an answer.
They look at me, smile defiantly, and don't say anything else.
It's okay if you don't want to talk about it.
First time I got drunk, I must have been 17. It was on a playground, sitting on a whirly. A girl told me about this trick to fight the cold, We took turns sipping from a thermos she had. Too bad it never gets cold here. I always wondered what a cold winter would feel like. I've seen everything to see here, and I'll never see anything else.
Oh, that's up to you. But yeah, I can't because I'm stuck here, so we're going this way. Yana suggests we go to the beach next. They're so enthusiastic at the idea that I can't help but follow them. The warmth of the sea feels good. Yana rolls up their pant legs to wade a bit further in. I follow them, glad to be with someone who makes it easy to just be. We wait in comfortable silence. After a while we head back to dry land and fall into the soft sand, giddy and unencumbered. Yana looks at me for a moment.
Kiss now, if you want. It's nice to have someone so close to you when you're sad.
Yeah, she's forward. They are forward. Do I want that? Oh, that is the choice now. Well, we got chaos or chaos. Do whatever you want. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. You did a lot today. They'll understand. Of course we're going with an electrifying kiss between non-binary and us. Well, why not? Wasn't Chaos talking about things like this earlier? We face each other, eyes gleaming with expectation, breathing heavily, despite the feeling that our hearts are skipping beats. Our faces come nearer and nearer until our lips bridge the gap between us. Very close. My eyes briefly meet theirs before I close them and our mouths open. At first we're slow and hesitant. Is anyone ever not? Asking permission without words, exploring, and then our bodies are clasped against each other in a tight embrace. I dissolve into the moment. There's a devouring hunger in me, starved for the feeling of being alive, of leaving the world behind, of having someone just be here with me. Softly, Yana presses against my chest and pulls away for a breath. I move my hand from the hip. They keep theirs on my jaw.
You've been hurting. I don't want to pressure you into anything.
Slowly and gently, their thumb brushes the tear from under my eye. I didn't realize I'd be
Stay
crying.
here on this starry beach, or be brought into the world and perhaps become something else.
Wow. Hell yes, gay smooches. Well, is it really gay smooches if it's non-binary and AFAB?
It's up to you.
I don't even know under what that falls. It's just people kissing. I think. Which is why I was talking with a friend not too long ago, and I was like, pansexuality makes the most fucking sense. Because you're attracted to whom you're attracted. Just stop putting fucking labels on everyone and everything. It's not a supermarket, there's no need for price tags. It's up to you. Dun dun dun. Generally, I usually go for the kiss if there's a kiss, unless I have fair reason not to. Like, if I get the vibe that the characters are or ace, but even then, if you develop the feelings and relationship as we have here, I don't think that they would necessarily say no unless there was fair reason that they wouldn't feel up to it. Hours later, I'm still thinking about it. There's still a tingling warmth in my stomach. Ah, such great moments. Okay, we've done with this one. We can't, because we don't have 2 crystals. So we have to go this way. Oh no, I see power on it. Oh no! We can't avoid the topic any longer. We have to talk about the memorials, about how people are processing Laszlo's death all around us. I gather Ursula and Nora together. Good, because we didn't get to talk to Ursula in person, but I don't think much would have come of it. They look as haggard as I feel. If anything, I think Polly would have become really infuriated. Nora's clothes are wrinkled and stained. Ursula's
All that
hair
stuff
lank.
at the gate. All those offering, man. I hate them.
It is a little unsettling, but people need to grieve.
They could also do it at the
Not
bar.
just for a man, but for everything they've lost.
That I can agree with. Laszlo as the face of political dissent in Alma. I'm not sure how I feel about that, especially because he wasn't really that involved in it to begin with. All he wanted was to find Ursula. So it is a bit weird. Okay, so, but I'm definitely reading them. So Laszlo was the face of Alma. You know what he meant to others? I don't. Still, Laszlo wasn't just ours. He was family, but he was also part of Alma and more. These are truth crystals, yeah. It's a lot to handle. How can you answer that if you haven't even taken time to think on it? Oh, we can't do this one anyway. Then we're going to this one. Because it was between those two. It's strange what family does to your perception of a person. Their role in the family becomes their identity, which I think is horrible, especially when talking about mothers and fathers. Laszlo was a granddad, a stepdad, head of the family unit, co-head at least. But that wasn't the whole of it. Laszlo was a friend, a barkeep, a confidant, a drinking partner, and a storyteller. He didn't belong to us alone. Right now, his identity outside of our family bonds is more important, isn't it? I think both are valid. Okay, so we have power. Laszlo is the place of movement much bigger than you. Private grief, public display. I'm more actually inclined to this one, if it means what I think it means. Laszlo was just a man, and now people are using him as a concept, not a person.
I hate seeing him reduced to this. A face and an idea. He was so much more than that. And now, he's just a meme.
I do think that actual symbols are better than people. There's a lot of people that we hail as the face of certain movements and everything, but we don't know if that is actually what they would have wanted. Because I think a lot is lost if you minimize it to that as well. There isn't a right answer to any of that. His loss still hurts so much. They could pick anyone else. There's so many things to use as a symbol, and I'm sure he's not the only one that passed as well. He was maybe just the most known person. That wasn't how Laszlo wanted to die. I don't know if it's how he would want to be remembered. Yes, because in Jade's case we might think differently, because she had been an activist, she had made it her identity, but also out of a need for someone to step up to the role. If given the choice, and if somebody else had done it, I don't know if she would have been as involved in it. I should ask the others what they think. That is a very good idea. Can we ask both? I do have one power crystal, yes. Your sister is as wounded as you are. Oh, your mother sees the potential for change. Oh, woman! I want to go to Truth, because Truth doesn't have as many crystals, I think. I turn to Nora. She runs her hands through her hair and takes a moment to
I love that people remember him and love him. And I'm angry too. I hate MK. But putting Grandpa's face on that feeling, I can't do it. At least not now.
That is also really honest. And I get that some people might need for someone to be... I mean, because the same has been brought up with the BLM protests, because obviously George Floyd was the face that churned these protests on, but so many others had died, even in the same year, even in the same month or week. So a lot can be said about shouldn't something have been done earlier? Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel ashamed for not demanding justice or rioting or anything, but I just want to be sad and hope the rage and the outcry will still be there when I'm ready.
That is actually an amazing way to...
He didn't want his death to be a public spectacle. We didn't talk about it much, but he knew he was getting older. He knew he'd be gone one day, that I'd be without him.
You don't know in the end how it's going to
I never imagined it would be like this. I don't know about you guys, but I need more room to grieve. I miss him so much.
Voice acting is so great. It hurts to listen. I could have done both, but no, I would not. What do I have to do? Oh, I have to do both anyway, so that solves that issue. Ursula has something to say. I do like that because I would have wanted to.
There's a limit to what we can control. And Laszlo's death is not on us. It's hard because we knew him. But there were also things he did not share with us.
To be fair, woman, you were kind of, sort of.
For my part, I have mixed feelings, if you must know. Nora, I know you don't agree.
Nora shifts from foot to foot awkwardly and looks at
But what's done is done. And I do appreciate what Laszlo's spirit has inspired here on Athena.
And it's not that he didn't, like, love this place. Yes. She seems like she's made up her mind. Then again, I guess she doesn't have much choice. She's resolutely putting the best face she can on the situation. I feel numb.
I don't really know what to do.
I don't think there is any right way to feel about this.
It's not like anything like this has happened to us before.
Thank you, though, for being honest.
Nora smiles sadly as Ursula touches her arm. Everyone said that part, which is super important. The only remaining question for us to answer is, what are we going to do about the way Laszlo's face is being used politically? Well, I only have one, but I do have two here. Truth cannot stop the momentum, but your family can still choose to not get involved. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. We'll stay away from the political aspect of it all. We can't stop it, but we won't participate in it, because we have other things to worry about, like rebelling.
I can't see his face co-opted like this. It's just way too soon.
I think you're right.
I think it would have been weird if I had made her like, oh yes, we're revolution. We're totally going to use it.
I mean, look at us.
I'm looking. It's true, we're all in a state.
How are we supposed to live up to the ideals everyone's placed on him? On us?
Mm-hmm.
Quite. I'll remove the memorial tonight. After dark, of course.
We get why people need time, why they need to express their feelings, and Laszlo's wake will be open to all, but we won't endorse anything more. This is a deeply personal loss and we need time together, at least for now. Laszlo's death wasn't a sacrifice made, his life was taken. We don't want the truth of his death diminished, and especially because Anna is also here, I think we can agree that that's also kind of the situation with Brianna's stuff. Because I do think that both sides kind of weaponized her death to benefit them to a certain extent. Obviously the trans community having more of a right to it, but still the question remains, do you have to single out one particular person? Because again, she's unfortunately not the only victim of violence towards trans people in the UK. It's kind of the same as when Sophie Lancaster died, which is something that involved me sort of personally, because it's my community. Because she was attacked and she died because she was a goth. Because she and her partner had been attacked. She had tried to protect him, and the consequence of all of that was that she was the one who died. Yeah, mostly on social media as far as I know, apart from the PM's blunder last week. Well, last week, the week before, every fucking week before. And I know it has sparked a whole discussion of whether it mattered that Brianna's mother was in the house or not when he said this rubbish. I think he's a fucking tool anyway. Can never agree with him on anything, whether it's privatization of services that are basic needs and everything else. And the next point is probably also making homelessness illegal in the UK, because there's so many states in the US that are trying to push this. But yeah, no, even just the whole, again, like, as much as they try to push against trans communities, it is so telling of patriarchy and misogyny that the focus is always on trans women. It's never on trans men. Nobody's worried about trans men going into a male bathroom. The problem is always trans women going into a female bathroom. And always the fact that their image, their mental image of a trans woman is always equated to a drag queen, which is completely different because one is an art form and one is just a person existing. But there is such a strong disconnect, and it shows again how much society hates women, to the point that they obviously will go and hunt trans women. Not that I'm saying that trans men deserve any hate, of course, by any means. But again, it is so telling. And the whole idea of, like, how do you define a woman, very often being, like, narrowed down to the act of procreation or otherwise, like, well, thank you very much. My mother had her uterus removed, which is why I am here. Did that make her any less of a woman? I don't want kids. I want to get sterilized. Does that make me any less of a woman? Not that I personally care, because I identify as gender fluid. But yeah, never trans women are all predators. Exactly. It's always when we actually know that usually men are more predators than women. But there's this very weird disconnect. Again, not saying that trans men are predators by any means. Absolutely the contrary, because in the end, like, whether somebody's a predator or not has nothing to do with their identity, their sexuality, their religion, their race, their age, or anything. If anything, the closest thing that has maybe a play in it is their upbringing. But again, so many other points. But yeah, I hate the fact that it always comes, because they discredit a lot of women. And sorry for anyone that's watching it later, because we're going off topic again, but I ADHD, this is my stream, fuck off. Because there was a situation, I don't remember if it was sports related or something, but somebody, oh yeah, there was like video taken or a picture taken at a sports game of a girl, and she was a teenager, and somebody started kind of a smearing campaign on Facebook and claiming that she was trans, and it ended up with the family getting death threats and everything, as well as the school, and the school had basically to go into fucking lockdown. And the girl is AFAB. So the fact that as a woman or a young girl, just because you don't present feminine, is now putting your life and that of others in danger, because people are so fucking hung up on this. And it was already ridiculous before, but it just keeps getting more and more ridiculous, because now you're putting AFAB people at risk because of your pathetic hatred of trans women, which probably in the most cases stems from them just not admitting to themselves that they are attracted to trans women. And you just want away with the danger, with the risk, with the temptation. Technically, they all sound like Frollo in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, let's be honest, because it's very much giving those vibes. Oh no, this gypsy woman, sorry, slur, but there's Roma or Sinti woman, I think those are, but in some places those are also considered slurs, so do educate me if you know it better, or look it up at least. But yeah, I'm just referencing it from the movie, from the Disney movie. But he's like putting all the blame on her for like tempting him, but he's obviously not to blame because he's the tempted one. So I could go on about that for hours. But yeah, misogyny rules supreme, unfortunately, regardless of what the situation is, and that needs to be eradicated. So Laszlo's death wasn't a sacrifice made. His life was taken. We don't want the truth of his death diminished. Precisely. Oof. I went on a tangent, but I mean, Anna knows me. Anna goes to conventions with me, and we talk about all kinds of things. So, okay, they're directly connected. That's quite good. Mourners come and go. That too. Oh, he's so lovely. I think people being able to get it off their chest helps. It's nice out tonight, warm but not overbearing. With a cloud in the sky. My heart's still in pieces, but my head is clearer. The voices are speaking more slowly now. As the gardens come into view, I feel another cramp scrunch itself around my abdomen. Perfect timing. I see a crowd has gathered for the wake. Familiar faces, strangers, people from every echelon of Alma's society. I answer the sympathetic looks thrown my way with a smile, and my thoughts return to reverie. Even Carlson Red is a familiar place for me now, for better or worse. Truth has been restored, chaos found, and glory rescued. But there's more to do, and I still can't see the outcomes of our story.
In this moment, the present is your chief concern.
Is it though?
It will be painful, but it always is. When many grieve as one, it may hurt less.
I head to the table where Nora and Ursula are sitting, proffering smiles and nods.
I've never seen the Naiads this crowded.
Me neither.
Laszlo was loved by all of us.
She smiles, her eyes glassy. After a few moments of silence, Ursula and Nora drift off to mingle with the mourners. I stay put. I need a moment to gather myself. In my pocket, I feel my phone buzz. I glance down at the screen. This is Yana. Text from Yana. Let me know if you need anything. Yana with all of MK's eyes on them. I hope they're alright. Yeah, I'm a bit worried for their safety as well. Okay. So this one's locked. Yeah, I can't go that path anyway, so whatever that meant, gone. I make my way through the mourners, nodding, smiling until I reach Nora and Jade. Ursula's there too. My mother and Jade aren't the best of friends, but at least there's no open hostility between them. I'm glad. Nora needs stability.
Hi.
Hi.
So many people.
He was loved.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
It hurts to speak about Laszlo in past
Polly,
tense.
I have something to ask you. But not now. After the ceremony.
Okay.
If that's alright.
Sure.
Good word.
We'll talk after.
I spy Omar over Jade's shoulder, consoling one of Laszlo's friends from the bar. He notices me, extracts himself with a final kind word and wanders
These things are
over.
always horrible. Sorry, I don't mean to bring down the mood.
It's fine. It really can't get much lower. Are you okay?
It's just brings back a lot of memories, you know. Not my first rodeo.
Okay, so we can only do things here. Choose one of the next two. Okay. So meet Nora. Talk with Ursula. Chat with Jade. Speak with Omar. Okay, if I do this, I cancel out this one. If I do this, I cancel out two others. If I do this, I cancel out that one, and that cancel out two others as well. Yikes! Okay, we lose one, we lose two, we lose two, we lose one. I mean, they are adults, and she wants to catch up later as well, so I'm going over Nora again, I guess. Jade sees someone she knows. She touches Nora on the shoulder and moves off. I head over and instinctively pull her into my arms. The tears come naturally. I feel Nora's shoulders shake as she buries her head in my shoulder. It feels good, natural. Neither of us attempts to stem the tide. When we part, she's smiling weakly. She wipes her nose and eyes on the end
Come
of
on.
the sleeve.
Let's find somewhere quiet. Get you a drink.
I mean, of course she's our main concern. Okay, there's two more. Well, the thing is, Jade wants to talk with us later as well. Okay, Omar comforts Nora, and Omar opens up about grief. Be interesting as well. Okay, I'm actually invested in that one. And again, Chaos doesn't have enough crystals, I think. Omar looks downcast, but there's something learned in his movements, like he's done this all before. I wonder over and squeeze his arm
Everything
gently.
okay?
Me? Yeah. Are you okay?
Also, it makes logical sense if Jade just wandered off.
I haven't really thought about it. No.
That was... It was a stupid question. Sorry.
No, it helps. Really. It's the thought that counts and all that.
Yeah. I never told you about my mum, did I?
It's not like we had time.
I don't think so.
Died when I was small. Dad and my sisters. They're the ones who raised me.
I'm sorry.
I suppose I'm trying to say... I know what it's like. That feeling. The idea of it, anyway. It hits different for everyone. But I know the emptiness at the heart of it. Having your family and friends around you like this. It's the way to go. Sharing the load makes things easier. More bearable. I'm just sorry I couldn't be here before now.
Yep, well, only left this path. I look out over the wake. The hushed tones of whispered memories and heartfelt condolences seem completely at odds with the man they're talking about. I can imagine Laszlo striding through the crowd, grumbling loudly about how no one's having enough fun. When I turn back, Omar's
Does it
chatting
get
with Nora.
easier?
Yeah, I think it's good because he's been in a similar situation.
No. Not really. Time gives you distance, though. A way to look at it more... rationally.
That's good.
Eventually it becomes a part of you. And you stop thinking about it. Like breathing. Or walking.
That's kind of reassuring, actually. I like the idea of The idea of his memory being a part of all of us now.
That's exactly it.
Thanks, Omar.
If you ever need to talk, I'll be around.
That's... yeah. Thank you.
I smile again and imagine Leslie smiling too. Yeah, I think this was important, like his sort of wisdom being imparted to her. I think there's things that Jade can't do for her. She can be there for her, but I think this was definitely something that I wanted Oma to do. I tune out for a moment, letting my mind drift to other things. Atina, Laszlo, Omar. I need to be certain that my choices are correct. Can we ever, though? So much has changed since my return here. Reverie, the aspirations, my idea of the world has shifted. The crystalline chime of cutlery on glass brings me back to my senses. Ursula stands at the head of the hushed crowd. She looks grave but composed. I think she's the only one who can pull this off. Speech time.
Thank you all for coming here today. I can't speak for my family, but I know the sight of you gathered here has done me a world of good.
Okay, again, love this. She's not claiming to speak for Polly or for Nora or anybody else.
So, Laszlo.
I do love this expression on her. It's very much like probably me sometimes at work, like trying to organize my thoughts.
Laszlo was...
She pauses, her eyes darkening for a moment.
Laszlo was my partner. Laszlo was a parent. Laszlo was the cornerstone of a community. Our community. And he is gone.
The speech continues. She describes how they met and built a life together, both with young children in tow. But I'm not listening. I can't listen. Hearing the past tense used with his name is too much to bear. My mind swirls again, pulls and memories coming like a torrent as my knees buckle and I reach instinctively for the corner of a table. I think because the memory is also so vivid, it wouldn't feel wrong to still use present tense because he is still within all of them at this point, and very vividly. No tears, no gulping sobs, just pain. Grief is unpredictable. I feel numb sometimes and other times incredibly raw. Some days are much better than others. The lows are the lowest I've ever felt. Nothing will ever be as it was again. It hurts to think about. I feel as if I'm breathing through straw. Yeah, I was feeling about this as well at the moment because my parents are elderly because they had me late, well, they adopted me late. So my mom had her mom around for quite a long time, but she had sustained several injuries throughout her life, which had affected her health later on. And I think my parents are currently or very close to being older than my grandma's when she passed. And I'm worried because I'm barely in my 30s. I'm still a child. I don't have my shit together. And I need my parents for so many things and so much help, and because I'm an only child, I have the benefit that, yes, they are my support system, but like, if they ever pass, especially if it were, I don't know what would be worse, if they pass naturally, because it very much feels like, and they have said in their own words, that if one of them were to pass, the other one would follow closely behind, because they just can't. But I do think my mum would thrive in the absence of my father, as weird as that might sound. My father would be lost without my mother, so I do think that she would do better in that situation than he would. Because I don't know much about the marriage, like whether they are still with each other partially out of convenience and partially out of love, I don't know, because I do think that at the time they got married everything was much different. So I don't want to presume anything. But for me, if I ever were to lose both of them, especially at the same time, I don't know, because I will be literally on my own with my cats. Because I don't have any other family ties or bonds. Not that I want them with the family that is there. But I don't know, especially today because a friend from like 20 years ago reached out. And we were just chit-chatting about like, and he was telling me about things he does with his kids, and I'm still like very steadfast. I'm like, I don't want to be friends with people who have kids. I don't want to get dragged into any of that. But like all my friends are abroad. Friends are in America, in the UK, further away in Germany, Sweden, Siri, Canada, Barbie, but yeah, nobody's close to me. So I only have one colleague who's currently doing the same exams as me, but I've seen it way too often because I've done this before, that those friendships like fizzle out as soon as like the exam periods and everything is done. Or if you were working together in the same institution but then you change schools, you literally are out of sight, out of mind. I've lost so many friends I've had in workspaces because I switched to another school. So I don't have my hopes up about anything like that. And I have another friend at the school with whom I've just made plans, but we're both neurodivergent, so we don't really like spending a lot of time together, if that makes sense. So I don't know exactly what happened with my grandparents. I love my grandpa, but my nan started having a bit of fun. Well, I think my mom would just go and travel again, which is what she did before she was married. As long as, but they're both in excellent health at the moment. I'm just really worried about if it suddenly goes from 0 to 100 and declines. I'd be very worried about that. And my mum had enough hardships health-wise in her whole life that I don't want to happen. And I'm very worried about like if they ever were to get to like if they're still alive, they get to a point where they completely rely on outside help, and how much pressure that would put on me aside from also my job. Obviously wanting to help, but also I think I would be faced with limitations. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of thinking about property they own, and having to deal with everything if it ever happens. I've been briefed to all hell. Every time my parents traveled outside of the continent, I would get a whole verbal list of, you have to do this, you have to go there, you have to put in a claim here if we pass away, there's this and that. So it's been very daunting, and it's something I'm quite used to because I've done it for years, and I still don't remember any of it. I have asked them to write it down at some point though. But it's weird when you are like middle-aged and you have to start thinking about like what ifs, and that's the biggest one. Like other people are weird, like, oh, what if I'm never married, don't have children? For me, it's just like, what if my parents pass? So yeah, I think this is good, and we need games like this to kind of not necessarily remind you of that specific moment, but also that make you potentially also face the impending doom of or past experiences of grief. Because I saw how the death of her own mother destroyed my mother, and it kind of still to a certain extent does. Like, she's still not completely over it, and she never will be. And I saw how broken she was, so I'm kind of also very scared about being that broken and on my own. But I have my cats, so that's at least something. So nothing will ever be as it was. It hurts to think about. I feel as if I'm breathing through a straw. I think that's an apt description. Sorry. Again, but I do love, I mean, we kind of did the same thing with the council, because the council also brought up a lot of discussions. All alone with the memory. Okay, there's one option. Or time for confrontation. I need answers. I think I can do this, but then still do the other one. Because I think she needs that. Memories come thick and fast. Laszlo watching my first steps on the diving board. Riding on his shoulders. My first trip to the bar. A grace knee, a hug, a storm of whispered encouragements and affirmations. You know I'd move if you need me there. We'd have to find you a job here first. But the good thing is, there is a lot of English speaking, but also I'd still recommend like having your own place. Like, ideally, granted, I obviously don't want it to pass, but if my neighbor ever were to pass, because my parents already talked about moving in that house, I was like, look, I don't mind you being in the same village as me, but I don't want you to be next door to me. Like, I need some privacy. But I said the same with my best friend. I mean, both my best friends, kind of. You're in the UK and she's in Germany, because I think we have this. I have the same relationship with both of you. I've just known her longer, because she lives alone. She also doesn't want to be married. She's ace. She has 3 cats. If she wasn't in the job that she's in for over 10 years and have all the benefits and everything and her own apartment, we would probably already have moved into a house, basically split it into 2 separate apartments. And live together. And I did see it in a TikTok the other day. There was a lot of elderly people, but still in good health, and they all, I think, bought a house together, and they're basically a commune now. And I do really think that is what we're going to do as elderly women. We're going to grab our cats, we're going to buy a massive house, or rent it, I guess, because nobody's going to inherit the money anyway. And we're just gonna have a commune, and we're just gonna have like our gaming rooms, our consoles, and our board games, and we're gonna go on trips and everything. Because by the time we're retired, and if we're in as good health as we're now, which I hope is true for all of us, like we have fuck all to do. And if we don't have kids, like we don't have to save the money for anyone. So I very much hope that we can do that. I would insist on us going to Singapore though, at least every other month or something, because I think you can get a visa for like either it's for 90 days or it's for 3 months. I'll have to check by then, or I have to work for maybe 3 years still in teaching over there if they'll have me, and then I can get the nationality. That will solve issues. Honestly, yeah. To the F else is there to aim for. The fuck else is there to aim for. Exactly, right? I mean, already now I want to spend all my money on traveling. Sorry. I had to let the boys in. Because, like, yeah, fuck that. Because, again, like, relationship-wise, especially because V-Day is coming up on us. I can't wait for it to be the 15th, because fuck all this. I would never want to, like, have somebody else have control over my finances or where I live. Like, I've said it again and again, because now I finally live in a house since, like, a bit over a year. I wouldn't want to share this with a partner. There's no room for someone to live in here. But yeah, definitely. Like, as soon as we're not held down by any work stuff and whatnot, can you imagine all the cosplay stuff we can pull off by the time we're now 50s, 60s, or whenever we get to retire? Again, also, you should leave your country because they want to push the retirement age. Then again, they will try the same shit here. But yeah, I choke on my own breath, my eyes water. I think of Jade strong despite everything. Well, I mean, when we first met her, she was very broken as well. Of Omar and his calmness, his seemingly endless knowledge. Look, that is what we academics are like. We have endless knowledge, but nothing of it is useful. I think of Yana and the cool detachment, never ruffled, always vigilant. That demeanor stems in part from trauma, but they wield it well. I think that's true for a lot of us. And beneath the hard-to-read behavior, the compassionate and friendly. I'm none of these things. I'm a mess. So why was I chosen? Why am I the one fighting to mend 2 planes of reality? Why are the aspirations so lost in their own little worlds? It's not fair. The childishness of that thought shocks me out of my spiral. I think of our kiss, Yana and me. It was a long time coming, but worth every second. A cool wave washes over me. My thoughts slow. I reach my phone and shoot them a text. Direct, honest. I wish you were here. They respond immediately. Me too. I exhale. It feels good. I feel better. I think that was so important. And I was right that we got to go here anyway, but I do think it was very important to do the other step first. Ursula's still speaking. A ripple of laughter echoes through the crowd. I think that will help a lot of people. Sniffles, the occasional repressed sob. The answers I need aren't here. They aren't in brittle. It's time to return to reverie, to confront the aspirations. I agree. They owe me, and they'll help me. Or they can find someone else to solve their problems. Wow! Definitely found her voice, hasn't she? So, okay, my tendency is already over here because there's power here, but there's also glory. So we have truth and chaos. Okay, wait, where are we with the hearts? With the crystals? Need to. 32, 21. So I should be more leaning towards the chaos side. But I haven't even read what they are yet, but yes. And for this, I will lose chaos regardless, but I will gain. But because it says 3, I will have to do all 3 of these. Okay, so I will need a bond and a chaos. I do get a chaos here. I don't have a bond. Oh, can I? This one here. Okay, that the math is not mathing. I have 2 chaos crystals. Okay. Oh, because I will gain a bond from this one. But I will need a power crystal. Okay, let's read them regardless. A silence, chaos that's going to leave them. That's going to leave them speechless. Speechless. What is he up to? Truth. If you have something to say, then by all means do so. And I know that it's not blocking off the other side. Unlocked all alone with the memory. Okay, so I can get this one. And then I can still get over to that one. Okay, we're going with this. I hope this is all going to make sense. Hopefully it works as planned. Because I really want to shove some more crystals into chaos, and I really need some more in Bond. This is annoying me. I need more in Bond. I close my eyes and the red sky of reverie appears before me. Where only recently I saw nothing but beauty in this landscape, and now feel injustice. I've done so much for this realm and its inhabitants. I've given so much of myself. I can't go on like this. Our arrangement has to change. I know they can hear my thoughts. I know they can feel my distress. The only question is, who will respond? I would have loved for it to be chaos. Chaos, I'm not going to lie, I feel a tad bit bitter. Okay, he would listen. Wait, I hear you, Harmony. Okay, I would gain one chaos here regardless. Okay. I'm going with Bond because this one makes the most sense. I would have loved to go also for the chaos listens. A warm feeling of contentment washes over me, but I do think Bond is more important here.
These are strange times. Even those of us who have lived for generations haven't seen their like. It makes one wonder what the point of being an emotional gestalt even is.
You feel different.
Yes. Yes, I have changed these past few weeks. The state of reverie. The business with glory and chaos. I have not been my usual self. And for that, I apologize.
It's fine, but I need your help now. All of you.
I cannot speak for the others. But you have my allegiance. I will walk with you through these dire times.
Okay. Well, we knew that. Well, that's good. I open my eyes. Instead of brittle or even reverie, I see nothing but the void, like I've awoken underwater. Strangely, I'm not scared. It's almost calming being here. This would be a perfect, like, cut over to the other game we want to play. Between the realms, now there are footsteps and voices muffled, like they're coming from above the surface. I can feel the effects of my conversation and reverie rippling outwards. What consequences will it have had? Dun, dun, dun. I want to read them. Such joy for such an event. What did your mother say to them? Oh, cheers. There's tension in the air. Something's boiling up. I like it, but I'm not sure you will. Glory and chaos. That need a glory. Don't have the glory. I cannot unlock this. Can't unlock this one either. Or this one. Unlock this one. Yeah, if I chose this, I would have to go here. And this would unlock. Spend time with your family. You can discover what is on everyone's mind. It will tell you what I think. Okay. Tension in the air. Make a speech. So I can make a speech. Yes, it's pessimistic. I'll tell you my opinion if you can prove to me you can do something with this disoriented crowd. But what would happen after that? I don't know, I've put the focus a lot on family. And again, because I'm getting 5 chaos crystals. Because I would gain a glory, then I can actually take this one. Our enemies need to understand that there may be a retribution inside of Riot. Oh, I want to. Unite Alma. This is more what I would want to go to. Strength in numbers, we need to put aside our grievances and unite. Protect the Nayans. What matters most is your family and where they are. Yeah, I do think that this is the best. I said I would want this here, but I can't do both. I do have one bond, but I would need one power. I do have this one. Encourage Jade to speak. Yeah, I wouldn't need to go to this, because that will block this off. Yeah, I can do this, still get these chaos crystals. I think that will work. Let's do that. Let's try that. I really don't want to have to redo all of this. Me this year, like... I close my eyes again, and the sound's clear. We're barely in the second one. Well, halfway in the second one. I'm back in the garden. The crowd is in an uproar at the end of Ursula's speech. Another applauding, roaring. Which is odd, considering the context, but knowing her, it's not really that odd. Someone grabs my shoulder.
Didn't you hear?
No. I was away.
You were in... Never mind. Listen, Ursula just told everyone. Alma, the whole community. They've launched a class action lawsuit against MK.
What?
Yeah. It was her idea. It might help the prescience, but... Listen to that.
That sounds good, but... The crowd is still howling.
Everyone's still so angry. Someone needs to talk to them. Control them.
Someone calls his name. He nods to me and moves off. This is a big deal. MK controls the police, the security apparatus of Athena, but they've never managed to sack the courts. This might actually move the needle a little. The crowd continues, braying their anger at MK finally spilling over, which I think essentially is good. Is this happening because of what I said? What I said in Reverie?
The road ahead splits once more.
I didn't know everyone was so... angry.
After all they've been through, it is hardly a surprise.
Yep.
Respect for the recently deceased quelled their tempers, but now, it is unleashed.
There's an abundance of momentum in the crowd now. I should try to keep it going. Okay, so per se, not bad. And then we have two choices, and as I said, I can't follow up for that one, but I have to ask Jade to speak up. I'm so sorry. What the crowd needs is some direction. At the moment, the anger is there, but that's it. It lacks focus. Jade could give them that focus. I don't want to push it on her, but we are nobody who just came back after 5 years of absence, so I don't think we could, and I won't leave it up to Ursula either. I find her amongst the faces. From the looks of it, she's already raring to go. When she sees me, I nod toward the stage and flash a thumbs up. She smiles, bolts to the front of the crowd, and takes a stage.
Good evening, Alma.
The simmering crowd choirs, listening.
Some of you know me, others don't. I'm Jade, and I've been fighting for Alma all my life.
Applause, cheering, they know who
It hasn't been easy. The important fights never are. But this is something new. This is something solid. Something to grab hold of and pull on. For too long, we've been fighting fires on our own doorsteps. Distracted by the little things. Losing track of the bigger picture.
I mean, that's the plan usually.
But this? Now, we can take the fight to them. To MK on their own turf. Now we can show them who we really are. Where our strength really comes from.
With every sentence, the crowd shouts agreement. With every sentence, the anger increases. Laura nudges me in the side, nods her head towards Jade. Her eyes sparkle with pride.
I'm so glad we met Jade. She was struggling then. More than she let on. The weight of, all this. She was trying to shoulder it all, and now look at her.
You know at least a part of this is your doing, right?
Maybe. I know she needs me to keep herself in check. Not burn herself out. Share the load. And I need her courage and her realism. I feel stronger lately. More sure of where I stand. We make a pretty good team.
She smiles again, and I realize I've never seen her so motivated, so engaged. Oh, I could have done that one too. I will lead you down the right path. Listen to the crowd. Oh, wait. Okay. This... But how am I supposed to get the other one? Ursula wraps it up and I take the crowd. Almost all of them are from the Alma district, almost all of them are shouting. Common topics include justice for the prescience and a more independent Alma. Some want the neighborhood separated from the rest of the island by decree, an independent state. That's the right thing to do. Jade and Omar are talking over by the food. Their voices are raised, and I try to convince myself it's not eavesdropping if everyone can
It's
hear.
an interesting thought experiment, but in reality, it wouldn't pass muster.
Why not?
Do you know how many independent states have risen successfully in the last century?
He pauses for
None.
That doesn't mean it can't happen, Omar.
Of course not. But it can be a pretty good sign of the times.
I mean, if Brexit is anything to go by, which is not even wanting independence, but yeah, Catalonia didn't stand a chance, and there's lots of other split countries where we see that it's not going as well as you'd think it would.
Look, we're not even talking about that right now. We're talking about awareness, perception. MK have gotten away with a lot of shit without so much as a peep from most people. But these protests are bad for business. Hitting them where it hurts. Those C-suite fuckers don't give a shit about human rights. But threaten their margins? Well, that's just bad business. And there's nothing that forces change these days like bad business.
Again, referencing McDonald's and Starbucks. I move away, hearing similar conversations repeated all over. The anger here is real and hot enough to melt iron. MK has taken so much from these people. Now they want to see them pay. Okay, but now I'm in a dilemma, because in order for this to open, I need to have 2 chaos crystals, and I don't have them anymore. Okay, fuck, yeah, now I can do that, but I'm not getting the 5 that I wanted. Dang it. Oh well. I'm so sorry, Chaos. I spend the rest of the evening talking to locals from here in Alma. They all have stories about the Naiads, how they stayed here as a child, slept here when their homes were repossessed by MK, how they relied on the community kitchen, how it gave them time to get back on their feet, how it was a constant and reminder of happier times. Everyone wants to see it open again. When we were forced to close after Ursula disappeared, and now after Laszlo's death, it felt like a part of the community had been torn out. The question I hear most often by far is, when will the Naiads open again? I tell them the truth. I don't know. Nora wants to open immediately, Jade too, but I'm not so sure. There are bigger issues at hand. Still, we offer beds to the few people who need them for the night. A small return
Through
to
peace and
normalcy.
hardship, the Naiads remains a vital organ within Alma.
It's a serviceable headquarters as well, though I would not call it a stronghold.
It need not be a fortress. This place will persist as long as it brings people together. Life has been stolen from the Naiads, but life has also returned.
Indeed. Wars are not often won or waged by individuals.
This is an organism in itself, Harmony. One which must be nurtured.
Keep its blood pumping.
There is talk of more protests tomorrow, fueled by news of the lawsuit. We will see what the morning brings, but for now I'm happy to be here, with our community. Yeah, I think that's good. And I think Bond got 10 crystals, yeah. And Power got 11. Oh, that's so nice. I did want points for Chaos. Chaos literally got none out of all of this chapter. The night is over. And what a night. Somehow I sense this is the beginning of the end. Whatever path I choose, whatever future I decide, Reverie is almost healed. The aspirations are back to their full powers. Whatever choices I make, I need to be certain. Yeah, I'm trying. Kind of miscalculated that one. But it's not completely bad. Ooh, okay. Alma United, to be fair, that is the one. Even if I had the choice, I would go for. After what happened before, between me and the aspirations, Power and Bond are determined to act. I can feel it. They will shape the world.
Unite all of
what I
Alma.
do.
Our community is essential.
This will give me a glimpse of what they could do with their powers if they were chosen as the heart. Do you think that's important? Fatigue has lowered my defenses. My mind is an open book. Bond and Power can surely tell how exhausted
It
I am.
will be done. For now, all you must do is rest.
It will soon be the time for action, but not yet. Save your strength for the struggle ahead.
An official investigation into MK has just been opened. Who knows where it will lead us? Outside there's a march starting. It's all boiling over. Laszlo's death, the freeing of the Presians, and MK's inhuman policies. I watch the people set out. I hear them chanting no more as they close on central Atina. I hear them working to block the streets. With these barricades, Alma is cutting itself off from the rest of the island. My heart is with them. We have to be the force changing the world. Sirens scream all night long. Gunshots tear the stillness apart. The future is so uncertain.
You are on the right path to understanding who we truly are.
Whatever's waiting for me outside
has been in motion for centuries.
Paul's heavy hand brushes past my shoulder and... Oh, here's a 29. We can't miss that one. 42, 31 bond. John to 38 and 43. Not a lot of glory, obviously. I need to push glory and chaos planet still. Oh no. Oh yeah, right. Silent This? How they affect this way? Oh, the Oxians came here and obviously people from Mesopotamia. It's truth. There's all the different philosophies. Where is it? My god, my poor brain. This is so long. Behind our every move, walking in our footsteps, the aspirations have always been there. They guided us, showed us the way. Their way. The vision I had proved one thing. The world is always ready to change, and I must be too. The circle of aspirations is completing it. Very soon, it will be time to put an end to all this and choose a new heart. A heart to lead future generations, to lead the world. It won't be choosing only for Tina or myself. There are many things at stake, many lives. And after everything
this is it. And I can't do it alone.
I'll need all the help I can get. How on earth can I? Okay, I guess Act 5 is probably the last one. Oh? Yeah, oh yeah, okay, yeah, because those are the 3 chapters of this act. I'm scared for a second. A brand new day. How can I even them all out though? I don't know. What I know is that technically, yeah, chaos and glory should be my priority now if I do want to even it out. I can't put more into bliss. Not that it would be bad if bliss was the heart, but I think bliss alone is not good enough. I open my eyes and roll out of the sweltering cocoon of bed sheets.
Wow. It's already so hot.
Something's off with the climate. It's as if the heat never left the air or our walls or sidewalks our bodies. Not even in the dead of night. I stretch and rub my face and start in on my morning routine.
You can do it.
This kind of mundane ritual comes as a kind of relief, but it won't last. It's been a couple of days since the aspirations told me they'd bring a change to the world. It's almost time for me to fulfill my role. In the meantime, I have things to take care of before the Naiads comes to life. The place is now home to dozens of Presians. After leaving Amke's clutches, a lot of them had nowhere else to go. Nora welcomed them with open arms, and Ursula played along. It's nice seeing the Naiads so busy again. I just wish it was under better circumstances.
Let's do this.
Also, come to think of it, if you do take the contract that you are thinking about Anna, because it is, I think, on an international kind of business ground, there could be a footstone, your open door into finding a job in our country somewhere down the line. Because I know that when I was working in the private sector, doing the same thing I'm doing now, I was working with quite a lot of companies within that same sphere, so I know there's quite a lot and everything is English speaking. As I leave my room, I hear them, chanting, screaming, a buzz like angry bees surrounding an interloper, the protesters. Even since Ursula drew up the lawsuit, there's been a pro-MK presence outside the layouts. That's a lot of fans. Today, there are more of them than usual. There are signs, megaphones, and the occasional camera drone. Not the best start to a morning I've ever had. Yeah, that makes me want to go and get a coffee. I think I'm gonna get me out at. Because my cat wants out. Yes, no, no, yes. Yes. Artemis wants outside. I just saw him sitting by the door and was like, whoops. I did not understand when I was being called. Yeah, we're getting closer to 0 again after a few warm days. Let's see. Okay, that one is locked at the moment. Can only go that way. Yeah, because these are like impossible. Okay, we can only go this way. So let's see. It's been almost a week since the protesters decided we'd be better off without MK. Since then, the neighborhood has become the Ulmer commune. Every day we support each other and fight. As long as MK is the government on Atina, we can't expect any concessions if we surrender now. Perhaps the trial will bring peace. Until then, the streets are blocked and surveyed. Trial vids and phones are a rare sight now, and their activity is surely monitored by MK software. I've had no news of Yana. In retaliation to the insurrection, MK has raised the cost of water and electricity for the entire island. Yeah, this is what will happen in some places. The reasoning is that recent events on Latina have put our infrastructures on tension, as such we are obligated to adapt the pricing of our services. But we know no one forces them to do anything. It's a punishment and nothing else to put the blame on us. Only by pooling all our resources are we managing to buy time and get everyone what they need. Yeah, and it's also a way to try and get other factions to rise up against the people they are fighting. Food supplies is the hardest part, especially since the sea is so polluted it's not safe to eat fish. Great. There's an association managing everything. Everyone participates, from each according to their ability to each according to their needs. I have to go there to make sure we're all set. Nora is waiting for me, but Omar comes to me first. He looks
Polly,
serious.
news. Jade's bringing people in today. She's asking for you. She needs your powers to keep everyone safe.
Right, she also wanted to chat last time, and I didn't use it. Whoops. Jade is leading help into Omar from elsewhere in Atina. They're bringing the food and supplies we need to keep fighting MK. This is unexpected timing,
I'll be there.
I guess I don't have much time now. Okay, so getting the Prescient's medicine. It didn't send Omar to help. The next steps would be difficult without his help. I think that's true as well, though. Nora needs my help. Okay, just also because there's a lot of bliss going on. Let's see what leads where. Echoes of gunfire. Not a fan of that. We definitely need chaos going up this path anyway. And then lots of stuff we don't see. I mean, because I don't know if this would put bliss at the top. I think it would. Against some, and again, it's not that I don't want bliss to become the new heart, but I prefer a mix, so I think I'm going to side with Omar, just based on that alone. Not that I don't want them to get medicine, I hope they get medicine regardless.
When I realized I couldn't pursue my academic dreams here without MK controlling me, I considered becoming a thief to gain access to forbidden knowledge and share it with others. It might have been a useful set of skills now. But I rather like my liver remaining unpecked by eagles.
Wow.
Soon drones will be taking over for the eagles.
He lets out a nervous chuckle.
Sorry. I have to see Jade. Can you take care of the usual stuff while I'm gone?
Certainly. Take care.
He's right. I should be careful. Something feels off. Head out to meet Jade. She's exactly where she said she'd be and waves as I hurry over. We shared a bit about Nora and how she's doing, the Nayans and how the Prescients have settled in. Then we moved to the topic at hand.
A new batch of people want to cross over. Every day, more people want to try to switch sides and join us, hoping things will get better if we win.
She falls silent and gestures for me to follow her into a covered alley. We duck in, and then I hear it, a high-pitched whirring overhead. Yeah, she's probably under constant surveillance, and I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to snipe her. The sound hovers in place for a few seconds before moving along. The pitch warps as it flies out of
Those
earshot.
drones aren't supposed to be out until nightfall. We should be careful. Soldiers are everywhere too. See, this is why I asked for you. We have people on MK's side of town willing to help us, but that won't prevent things from going south.
I have some errands to run. Perhaps I can find something to help.
Maybe, but be careful. Don't get sidetracked. Every minute counts.
That's a very strict instruction. I think we will get sidetracked. Okay, again, this is a respond to true. Infiltrate MK's territory. It's risky for you, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. Scout ahead and see if anything looks odd. Truth, you're not alone. Which is definitely also true. Well, I need to do 2 here, so I think those are actually pretty good. This one's on a timer anyway, so we're going here for now, and then we'll see what else happens. We head to one of the many barricades around Alma. This one's unmanned. Within moments, Jade and a few supporters have cleared a hole for me to slip through. Although I can fit, it's not comfortable. Asphalt scrapes my knees and palms. Full concrete presses in on me as I crawl through the tiny passage, while Liberty Slip revolutions are cozy. And we're back in. I scan the area. There are soldiers here, a few hibernating drones, but nothing out of the ordinary. I report back to the others as a group seeking passage emerges from the shadows on the MK side of the barricade. Okay. Let's do this. I think the other one is still not locked, so we have options. Omar's here. I see him whispering a plan to a group of supporters. Before I can ask what's happening, all hell breaks loose. Group scatters, pulling on masks while hooting and hollering. Others join in, and soon the whole street is a mass of bodies and sound. The troops nearby have snapped to alert, but they don't know where to look. Jade's safe passage just became safer. It's still true. We can count on Alma to have our backs. So I do think that hopefully people don't underestimate how useful walkie-talkies still are and will be. Well, that's charity. This is the only way to get what we need. Okay, but also we will new residents we actually have to go to the right place. Okay. I do want to know this one. I don't know if they'll lock the other one off now. The handoff is quick and it's tense. We open the barricade just long enough for them to pass, and just as we close it, MK's private militia crashes against it in full gear. People run to brace it up. Jade and Emma
That was
are
less than
furious.
ideal.
Sloppy. That was a real risk.
Before I can say more, the crowd seethes, displacing us with another rush to the barricade. After a few minutes, Yana emerges from their midst and approaches me.
What a day. Up for a hug?
Yes, please. But quickly.
One brief but very tight hug later.
Feels stupid to ask, but how's everything?
Chaotic.
Not great.
Right. Gotcha.
We do have plenty of space at the Naiads, at least. They're always open to you, you know.
Oh, me? Well, what will the neighbors say?
I smile mischievously. At least something positive might come of all this. Oh wow, I didn't expect this to go towards true. Okay, interesting. I still have this option. We lost the echoes of gunfire. That's fine by me. That's very fine by me. Very, very fine. I head out into the city. There's a collection of stores that provide for those in need. There's no catchy name. It's just called the Association. So only hope right now. I mean, Leslow's garden can feed a few of us, but not the crowd we're currently dealing with. As I approach the first shop, I feel embarrassed. The other people here look in far worse shape than I do. Shame washes over me. Everything the Association provides to me is something it can't provide to them. How did things end up like this? Not just for me, for everyone here. Atina is a wealthy enough place, modern. There should be more than enough to go around. Not if you are completely reliant on import. The drone buzzes overhead, in counterpoint to my own conclusion. There is enough to go around, but those on top have taken it for their own. Yep. 2012, Snowpiercer, and so on. I grind my nails into my palms, gulp down my emotions, and step forward. I mostly need food and medicine, but things are rationed as much as possible. Again, I can't put into bliss. I need to go with the bomb track. I think that was medicine, probably. But if I can only ask for one of the two, my stomach rumbles as I wait to reach the head of the queue. Think of Nora's drawn face, Ursula refusing even the smallest of meals with obvious half-truths. We need food. Finally, I arrive at the head of the queue and the woman behind the counter smiles warmly at me. She inquires about my day lightly, gently. She knows not to why. I smile and reel off some general platitudes. When she asks what I need, I point to the food stores. They should keep us going for now. A group of Alma locals have gathered money to help us take care of the prescience and manage after Laszlo's death. It's not much, but it's enough to help. They set up a page using MK's own crowdfunding portal. No, sometimes yeah. It's hard not to laugh at the irony. I'm surprised MK didn't shut it down. So with the organizers, they tell me, but it was probably too small for MK to even notice. I can't thank them without crying. They hold me, these strangers, until my shoulders stop shaking. We'll manage, thanks to them. Okay, that is... indeed. Have 3 truth crystals. We don't. All of this is locked off. Oh, but we're getting them here. Okay. I return home with a couple of people who need a place to stay. Yana's one of them. As we travel, we make sure to stay out of sight of all drones. Ursula meets us as we
Good
enter
to
the
see
mayor's.
everyone here in one piece.
Mother, you remember Yana? They'll be staying here as well.
At last we meet again. Do make yourself at home, Yana. Your assistance has been very much appreciated.
Thanks. I try.
I smile at Yana's out-of-character formality. They notice and elbow me gently in the ribs. Yeah. While Yana and the others get settled, I start to work doing small tasks here and there. I want to make myself useful, help everyone here. Nora keeps me company as I roam the Nayans, giving me a running commentary on what I missed while I was out. She holds my flashlight a few times too. I guess something like that was necessary. By the end of the night, I'm exhausted, but I feel a sense of accomplishment. We made it through another day. That's all there is. Okay, now I have to be careful. Oh, you try to trim and organize now. I don't know. I guess this is important, and then we'll see about the other one. My heart aches knowing that people are suffering because of us, but MK is at the root of it all. The coming days will be harsh, but the people who were generous to us don't regret it. But unless something miraculous happens, the situation can only get more desperate. How long can we help each other before we have to make an impossible choice? That is very much the truth of it. Oh, did we lose this one? Oh, we don't have this one. Okay. That night, MK booms an announcement out through every loudspeaker across the island. All of Atina will be punished for the existence of the Alma commune. Yeah, so like coming. There will be a curfew. Every person outside of the 8:30 will be arrested. Gatherings of more than 8 people in public space are now forbidden. No exceptions. You see that a lot in a lot of countries who are trying to pass laws that basically outlaw public demonstrations. And there are lots also in Europe. So, but very often people are too preoccupied with the struggles, their own personal struggles that they put in on purpose so that they will overlook these things. So I'm very worried about this because like the right to free speech is starting to crumble everywhere. The police will be authorized to control every individual they deem suspect. Great. Arrest them or engage their service weapon if needed. In other words, martial law. Don't they realize they're creating more resentful people? Or do they just not care? I guess when you're willing to crush human lives under your boots, you don't have any moral fiber left. Yep, this is what I thought it was coming to. Everyone's a bit stunned by the day. We drift around like ghosts, processing everything that's just happened. It's hard not to think this is our fault. Noah and Ursula have been considering How to keep helping the Prescients, and Jade and Omar wondering how to keep bringing people and supplies into
At this
our-
rate, I'm even willing to say a prayer. Not certain who will hear it, especially with the revelation of Reverie. But it can't hurt.
Soon Omar will have to open his shop for the day. Money is still needed. Yana wants to help as well, but it's clear they're not quite at ease here. We have a little chat. It's nothing deep, and I can tell they have something on their mind. They aren't telling me about. As they have something on their mind they aren't telling me about, but I can give them time. If they need to tell me anything, they know I am. The more people work together, the more I feel warmth returning to the Nayans. We may not have a lot, but it's enough. MK won't stop, and if Alma surrenders, MK won't be kind to those who stood against it. Somehow we have to keep challenging them. As if we're not overwhelmed enough, I remember there's still a lot to do today. Repair a sink, change a light bulb, move furniture around to make some more space, small stuff. But it adds up. It reminds me of Battle Royale 2 as well. Oh, I see some glory over there, but we'll see. I'm so exhausted. It feels like an eternity since I came back to Athena looking for Ursula. Things have only become more complex and uncertain since then. I just want to shower and sleep. There's one last thing I should probably do. Meet the aspirations. No doubt that they expect to hear from me directly at this point. If I try to sleep, strange dreams will wake me before I can manage any rest. Dreams of mangrove roofs, of chiptunes, of rippling water and colourful flames. No time like the present. I cradle my medallion between my hands. And off we go again. Okay. The other one is already blocked. Before I can disassociate and cross over into reverie, though, Yana knocks on my door. They enter and take a look around silent.
Brilliant deduction.
We share a smile, but there's a tension underlying Yana's
I'm sorry to bother you, but I wanted to talk. And since we don't know what's coming, I'd like to do it now.
Yana is blunt about other people's feelings, but usually they keep what truly matters to them locked deep inside. Is that why they
After what happened, and I know now isn't the best time, and I hate that it sounds so cliche, but I like you, Polly. We can leave that kiss on the beach if you want to, but if not, I'd love to kiss you again. Now, the rest can wait until morning. Up to you.
If anything happens, will you be here in the morning?
This time, with you, I might be.
I think of everything that's happened between the two of us, reconnecting despite the pressure of MK and Reverie. Yana sticking the neck out for me and my family. And long before that, when we were teenagers, when we were just kids. How amazing I thought they were, even then. I knew that was hard coming in. The classes we shared, the group projects we worked on. I used to help them with science homework, and they'd help me with math. So much has changed over the years, but we still recognize each other. It's the world around us that's become unrecognizable, even hostile. The kids better be over in glories. I mean it. Nope, we're going with Glory. Hooray! Perfect. Because obviously she's the furthest behind in crystals. My head is buzzing, but I stand all the same. I haven't gotten a proper confession like this in years, but I'm an adult. I have to say something. So I start with a smile. And when I take their hands, a faint spark of hope alights in their eyes. We kiss and I feel them smile against my lips. Perhaps later I'll say that I would have liked for us to talk for a while or stargaze on the beach when we kissed. Or that it was romantic or chaste at first. But in the moment in reality it's messy and awkward and good. It feels right. Shedding clothes between kisses, we move to the bed. I touch them when they remind me I can, and the rest is impulse and desire and intuition. There are moments where we laugh. Good! When I get goosebumps and shiver at their cold fingers, or when our teeth click together. Exactly! Kissing and patting and having intercourse is all messy and funny and filled with weird sounds and fluids and laughter and everything. And people who don't get it, like, I feel sorry for all our teenage selves, so whenever people had their first experiences, because I think all of them were awkward, everyone was way too self-conscious, way too worried about something sounding or looking or whatever weird, and the obsession with all of that. And like, I'm so happy for the comfort that I found later in life with all of this and all the experiences I had with that, because honestly, like, It is a funny thing to do. It is a funny situation, and whatever happens, being that comfortable with someone to be able to just laugh about it and carry on or try something else, that is what really matters. Anyone that makes you feel self-conscious in this situation still under some age, like, God, get rid of them. Because that is by far not how it should be. I take out the lubricant from my nightstand, well prepared, and then forget about it. I think and forget a million things in this fever, and it's okay. Yana opens their mouth to say something in the stillness of the night. I turn to them, waiting, and then... Funky? Together in the morning, that's it, sweetie. Well, thank you, Glory. Well, she said we should have some alone time or something for ourselves. And I do think that with all of this conflict, bonds that were renewed, but also bonds that are as they were because of past decisions between her and her mother, but also this new love that has sprouted from it is super important, alongside the passing of Laszlo. Fresh air flows into the room through the open window. Yana sleeps beside me, naked atop the sheets, letting out the occasional quiet snore. They don't seem to mind the draft at all. I mean, you said it was hot. I slept for roughly an hour according to the clock. Now I'm just staring at the ceiling. Tonight, spending time with Yana, sex, that was unexpected, but it helped. I feel lighter now. Everything that's happened since I returned has been so exhausting. Also, generally, highly recommend masturbation for relaxation. Orgasms help with headaches. And just knowing your own body and your own desire and everything is so important. And I do think there's another, because of like whether it's Christianity or other religions or what else, and social expectations like getting in the way, it is so important, especially for people with a female body. I think that's the best way to phrase it, because it's not just AFib people. To really come to know their body and what makes them feel good. Because there's no way you can tell another person if you don't even know yourself. So, again, very important. That was unexpected, but it helped. I feel like, oh yeah, I read that. There's a knot in my stomach at the thought of having to go back to Reverie. Yeah, I would feel a bit awkward now, I guess. I sit on the bed and grab the necklace I put on the nightstand while we were kissing. It's cold on my palms.
Going somewhere. I wish I could stay, but I have to visit Reverie.
It must be such a relief to be able to just say that.
Stay then. They'll be there tomorrow.
I really do have to go.
All right. As long as you come back.
I don't even know what happens to the body. I guess she's just passed out. Eyes closed, I raise a hand, brush my chest, and woozily pat my back before going back to sleep. For a moment I wonder if I'll appear naked in Reverie before I remember what my clothes there were always different than new. Yes, suddenly we have questions we never had before. At least I have that going for me. I inhale and reality shifts around me. I mean, because the body has to be there, no? Okay, we've exhausted that side. Obviously this one we have to go, but I'm already not looking forward to the next two choices. So, what's going on here? Why? Reverie's holding its breath against what's to come. I think of what's happened already. I think of how uncertain the future is.
How are you feeling?
To be honest, horrible. Drained.
Laszlo's dad. Yana's being targeted by MK. Jade's been taking risks. Ursula's determined to go to war. Nora's in danger, almost struggling. Atana's eyes are on us. And I can't help but wonder how much of this is my fault. I'm starting to wonder if I should just stop. But that's wishful thinking. I've felt these doubts before. The only way to the future is forward. But I'm hurting. We're all hurting, and I need the aspirations to care. If I can't tell them how I feel, how can I make the choices I need to make? Bond really is there with us every single time. Okay. Stop talking, I have to bottle up my feelings. Nope, we're not doing that one. Talk about Reverie. I'm sorry we did not make you feel well. I appreciate it will do better. Open up about Brittle. Not so long ago it was difficult to have an impact on your world. Let's say things through. Oh, between the two of them? I can't even do the next one though. I don't have those questions to lose, or does it just mean from the... Because I always think like the minus is up here, but I will have to be able to get through this somehow. There's something here. Oh god, I'll leave or I'll stay. Oh. I think between the two, I'm more pulled towards this one. I need to open up to the aspirations about what's going on in Brittle. It's affecting me more than I can
I'm mourning, Laszlo. MK is targeting us, and they're hurting almost everyone on the island. They've tortured the Prescients. All over Atina, people are in pain, and they're hurting each other. Brittle is doing badly, and Reverie hasn't helped as much as I hoped.
Yeah, I think this is correct. I do think that this is very honest.
Such a situation requires more than hope.
Well, at least I tried. This is our oracle. We must not dismiss her concerns.
Oh no. No. Okay, then we're doing this one. We have to do both. We're losing everything anyway. Okay, the aspirations manipulated me, trying to pressure me. They keep talking and talking inside my skull, pulling me into their reality whenever they see fit. They hurt each other, they lie, they're trapped in an endless contest. As these thoughts race through my mind, I make no effort to keep them private. Let them see, let them understand. I hope.
All of you, you're not good for each other, or your own world. The terrible vision I saw told me that much. Are our realms really meant to be symbiotic?
Hold up, what are you saying?
Oh, this is why they say to never meet your heroes, darling. It's natural to be disillusioned.
Okay, she's not
You're
wrong.
correct that Reverie is imperfect and fallible. Indeed, brittle in its way. Your skepticism is not unwarranted, but neither is it productive at this stage.
Nothing is at this stage, and I don't want to do this one, yeah, because that's gonna block it. I didn't even read this, sure. Well, I did say cold triviality. They all look at me somberly, it's like a
You have
cold
expressed
shower.
doubts in the past, but we see now that we failed to cast them away.
Aspirations are not gods, nor are we omniscient. We have our limitations as humans do.
There's gotta be something we can still do, right? To make it even?
If Reverie is forsaken, Brittle will never endure.
Desperation oozes through every word and every pause in silence. They're trying to make me
This
stay.
isn't the end, darling.
So many voices, so many ideas, all collected without harmony. They talk like they're afraid that if they let up for a moment,
It's
I'll
up
leave.
to her.
Thanks, Chaos. The moment has to come. If I decide to leave, I'll forsake the role of Oracle. I'll break the link between Reverie and Brittle. If I stay, I'll be placing my fate and that of my family in the hands of the aspirations. This choice will change the future, permanently. There's no going back. That's what it meant. Oh my god. I don't know, is this the end? Well, it's a bit close to the end, because if we forsake our role as the Oracle, we're basically the lost Oracle there is, no? Oh my god. Okay, we'd gain 2 for glory, so please, I need you, we need you. You need us. Together we can bring MK down and take our revenge. Let's less about revenge, more about help. Am I giving up on Reverie for good? Well, depending on what you tell me. I think it's good that we talked, but I wouldn't completely want to shut them out. Because I do think, I mean, they showed that they were there along the way. At least my worries, at least for now. Exactly, at least for now. Nothing says that she can't still make the choice to leave and, like, sever the connection. I mean, we lost the connection. We sought out the connection willingly by drinking that horrifying, modified egregor, because it was already thinking of modified. That's what put me up. And then to just like leave it now again because we're dealing with so much at the same time. I don't think that would be fair. Then again, nothing is.
All right. I've decided. I'll stay.
I mean, we're not putting all this effort into like trying to revive the heart to then just forsake all of the effort that we've put into it.
I can't say I know exactly what you're going through, but you have my sympathy, darling. I was MK's prisoner and I was freed. I see you yearn for your freedom as well. You may yet find it here.
At least, I'm not alone.
I have a family, a community in Athena and in Reverie. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. 2 families. Thanks, Glory. There's only 1. There's so much still. We're already 2 hours in again. Good thing it started early for you. Happily ever after. Oh dear. Okay, I do think these are the last 2 chapters though then. Because it all has to come together somehow, some way. There's so much noise in my head these days. Ursula's MK lawsuit, the aspirations urging me to choose a heart, the potential futures laid out before me like a board game. Everyone else is nervous too, stepping outside Danaeans. A group of Prescients have suggested we take a walk and head to the beach. It may be a good idea. Take everyone's thoughts off all of that's happened, but my mind is elsewhere. Mostly sitting by the ocean, just watching the waves. It was so soothing. As everyone's getting ready to go, Oma approaches me.
I think now is a good time to try boosting morale. Right before battles, great leaders often tell stories or make
I'm not a leader.
Influential
and
shit.
Definitely not a great one.
I hit the spacebar by accident. I'm sorry. But I was literally about to say like, oh Jade, we need you.
May I remind you that you're the only one in touch with Reverie. Your scope of action is much larger than everyone else's.
I also wonder what they told the Prescients. Like, how much do the Prescients know?
I don't doubt that it's uncomfortable. But people look to you for a reason.
Nah, not because we chose to. I don't know how to answer that. I nod along as he produces a scrap of paper from his jacket and shows me a fragment of text. It's a brief excerpt from an old Oxian legend, just for
It's about the darkest days of Athena, a time when the Oxion civilization was on the brink of collapse. I think we should try sharing it with people.
Someone is calling us from outside. It's time to go. I don't know what the 4 lines were, but I guess I'm about to find out. Yep. Alright, I'll come. I'd rather be alone. We only have one choice. By the time we step outside, the crowd has begun to drift toward the beach. It's gratifying, seeing everyone together after all that's happened. The wind picks up a little, carrying the chattering and laughter far and wide. The poem Oma gave me is abstract. Have you ever read something from E.E. Cummings? Because that is abstract. From what I can make out, it speaks of dark days, for Athena, but also for
There was a
Reverie.
war? In Reverie?
Apparently. It doesn't go into details, but it seems the fall of the Oxion culture set something off across the divide. The aspirations turned on each other. It was quite brutal, it seems.
Could that have been what we saw?
They never told me.
I guess they didn't want to heap any more pressure on you.
Me?
You. The Oracle. They couldn't find a way to end the conflict, so they created the first Oracle. In turn, the Oracle chose a new heart, and the war ended.
Which is why the name of the Oracle is Harmony. He smiles. There's an almost wistful gleam in his eyes, something like
Of
nostalgia.
course, until this week, I thought it was all a metaphor. A parable on trust or something.
There's a giggle at the back of her mind, and chaos appears, striding alongside us. I do wish I could see what the whole story would have turned out if choosing chaos along the way, predominantly, but that's not how me as Polly would have chosen.
And here I was, thinking all copies of that little ditty were destroyed. I'll have to tell Power. It'll send him loopy.
Oma sighs, gently plucks the paper from my
It
hand and
ends
reads.
with the aspirations vowing to help Athena in return for the Oracle's aid. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, interact.
I see what you're doing.
Me?
Maybe it would do everyone some good. To hear that what we're going through has happened before, and that everything turned out okay.
That's why stories exist, right? Community. A way to share experiences and to shape the collective imagination.
And to warn.
To inspire.
We've reached the beach. There's a good amount of people here. It's easy to forget how many there are at Aeneas with all its rooms and hidey holes. The spread up before us, yeah. That's
You
a lot
coming?
of people.
Yeah. Just give me a minute.
I take his hand and pull the oxen.
I think I'm going to go straight to the source on this one.
He huffs in playful jealousy before removing his loafers and setting out
Come
across
on.
the sand.
I know you're there.
Oh, no fair. You cheated. All those powers of yours.
Excuse me? It's exactly the same with you on the other side.
Oracle? Comes with a title. You were listening?
Only a bit. Well, a lot.
Want to tell me about it?
I don't know. The others might get all moody. They don't like talking about it. It's all ancient history this, and water under the bridge that.
But it isn't really the way they react to each other. I look out across the beach. There are a few fires going now, but there's a sense of restlessness, fidgety tension, the laughter from earlier
Then
this
again,
season.
perhaps a story might not be the worst idea.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Time to be inspirational. Again, I have to try and avoid bliss, but apparently that's not an option. Dang it. I'm trying to negotiate that one tells us where the power speak. I can't go that way. Shit. Wait, why does it say... What was I gonna say? Well, I mean, one bliss is not gonna hurt. I decide to just roll with it, play it by ear. With help, of course. Omar gathers the crowd together with waving arms and a fair amount of theatrics. He tells them that I'm going to speak. That I'm going to tell a story. They actually
The
seem
stage is
excited.
yours.
He steps aside flamboyantly and I move to the head of the group. There really are a lot of people here.
Hi, everyone. So this is an old Oxyon story that, well, I think it might be just what we all need right now.
Oh, let me tell it. Do go on, ever so good.
Fine, I think, but we need something inspirational, something pragmatic.
Pragmatic is my middle name.
Yeah, sure.
Not really, of course. It's Suzanne. At first, there was nothing.
I love chaos. As stars go, that's pretty absolute.
At first, there was nothing.
Oh, I love that this is gonna be kind of like in chorus.
Very nice, good diction. There was nothing for a very long time indeed. And then there was me. Chaos was born!
Repeat the line, editing on the
The
hook.
first aspiration born from humanity. You see, we're not creators, we're not gods. We're concepts. Your concepts, made real by the collective subconscious.
Which is exactly what we thought it was. No, more. My audience looks a little confused about where this is going, but it's too late to
As the
back out
first
now.
Homo sapiens looked out into the world, all they saw was chaos, unrest, freedom, unlimited possibility. From that possibility came me.
There's a hint of pride there, that they were the first.
I helped them make sense of the world, embrace the limitless, appreciate the boundless potential.
Then I came along.
I stumble over my words, restart the sentence, and rephrase Bliss's addition to
I
the
taught
tale.
humanity how amazing community could be. How sticking together made everything a little bit nicer, you know? Every time you lot take a new turn, one of us lot is born.
Chaos and bliss, the first aspirations. It's hard to imagine a time when all humanity had was freedom and happiness.
And for a long time, it was just the two of us, wasn't it, you little gremlin?
That's right. I was the warm fire after a hunt, or a newborn's first squeal.
And I was the growl in the night, the open plain ready to be explored.
The crowd are back on board. Some are even leaning into hearing
And
better.
after that, well,
I would guess more.
Well, indeed. Things may have gotten a little out of hand.
Okay, that sounds more like power. I opened my eyes. I hadn't even realized I'd had them closed. Everyone's silent, everyone's looking at me. Chaos and bliss are there, but so are all the rest. Whose version of the story do I want to tell? Ooh, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm going with Bond. Screw this. That's where I wanted to go to begin with. I trust Bond to tell the most empathetic version of the story, the version everyone could use right now. I was just about to say, this has to be the one that they need to hear.
War of the Aspirations. It began... I cannot say how it began. Several have claimed the title of instigator, but the first blood was drawn between chaos and power.
To nobody's surprise.
That doesn't surprise me.
In a sense, it was inevitable. By our very nature, we attract opposition.
Yeah, if chaos is freedom, power is control.
Chaos desired greater freedom for reverie, and so they hoped to abolish the heart. Power disagreed.
You've seen that coming.
His army lay siege to the labyrinth of chaos.
Army? Power mentioned something about an army before.
With enough egregor, we are able to conjure familiars, or split ourselves into 1,000 willing facets. Power used both.
But chaos laid their traps well, and their trickery ate away at power's advance.
They say truth is often the first casualty of war. And so it almost was for us. They attempted to break the deadlock, on whose side I cannot recall, and they paid a heavy price. For my own part, I tried to stem the tide of hostility. But no one would listen. Those were dark days indeed.
He sighs and falls silent. I'm not sure what to say. Before I come to any conclusions, I see Glory fade into view.
It was rather horrid. You saw what happened. When you rescued me from that misery pit and removed the Heart of Reverie, all hell broke loose. We were all afraid it was only a matter of time until the fighting broke out again.
Reverie and Brittle are mirrors. The state of one affects the other, and in the island of Atina, we found the keystone between the two realms. Was it we who caused the downfall of the Oxyons? Or was it the waning of their culture that forced us to war? Impossible to know. The bond between our realms is not a single strand, but an endless sea of connections.
Getting to Digimon vibes again. Both dimensions are in a bad way right now, that's for certain. But where did the overturn start this time? With us and my mother's meddling, or with the aspirations themselves? Was it MK or
That
me?
whole mess and this one are perfect examples of why we needed an oracle. When you can't rely on causality, at least you can get a second opinion.
Someone to choose the heart. Someone to help shape the direction of Reverie.
Someone to become the heart behind the heart. An observer and a guide.
Worked out pretty well, I'd say.
And then? I think it's no. Nora nudges me.
Go
in the
on,
ribs.
man. You've got them in the palm of your what's-it. Don't lose them. Maybe talk about the first Oracle. What were they like? Why did they choose who they chose?
Chaos interjects with a burst of laughter and jerks their thumb towards the other aspirations.
Good luck with that. Can't imagine you getting anything worth repeating out of this bunch. Or at least nothing coherent. Everyone's got an opinion.
It's like our story, isn't it? We did our part. Now it's up to you to bring it home.
I don't know how the story
Oh, it
ends.
doesn't end! No stories end! They just peter out.
All of this reminds me, okay, at this moment it reminds me as well of a movie, but what was it called? And I found it gives me the same Bridge to Terabithia, which was a movie in 2007, and I guess it falls under fantasy, but it was something, and it's definitely something that stayed with me, and I didn't know if anyone should really see it. I should probably rewatch it, but there was so much going on. And what is the other one? I saw one that was quite similar, which was, I don't know if it's only called. I Kill Giants. Very similar. So if you like either of them, I did watch I Kill Giants not too long ago. So kind of a similar vibe, and it reminds me of this as well.
Look, I can tell you this much. For every cycle of humanity, each time there's a big old change in your world, a new aspiration is born.
So maybe it is time to birth a new one.
We're
now.
well overdue for a new one. Like, really, it's been ages.
Have you really settled? Is this all you meant you will ever be? I want to tell the crowd about the oracles, what they mean, what they're meant to do. But I'm not sure how to go on. Wing it, or try to find out what really happened? That's a tough choice. Okay, I have 3 options. We can't ask Oma. What would Laszlo have said? Am I next? Ask for the crowd's opinion. Okay, but this will... yeah, let me see. Which one will that unlock? Much further on. This one. Secret. Wow. Okay, that's far-reaching. This one is from Use the Necklace. Again, I do want to avoid this to some buildings and trees. Spiritual, empathetic, or ambitious. Well, my tendency is definitely over here. Which will give me over here built in the maze, which should be interesting. I don't know though, he has no connection to any of this directly. They will not sugarcoat things and they might provide some interesting perspectives. I don't know. I'm a sucker for unlocking, obviously, options that I haven't had. I do want to unlock a secret. I'm curious. What are the aspirations trying to tell me here? Well, if they want me to wing it, I'll wing it.
The truth is, I don't know what happened next. I don't know what the Oracle is meant to represent. I guess we have to make up our own story from here on out.
That is refreshingly honest. Homer moves to stand beside me. He's here to help, and after checking for permission, he addresses the
Oxion
crowd.
writings tell of a final oracle. A chosen one, for lack of a better term. Their deities, the aspirations Polly spoke of. All of them were waiting for this final piece of the puzzle.
They called this oracle Harmony.
My heart
They
sinks.
referred to every oracle this way, hoping against hope that this time the title would stick.
Interesting, and also, yeah, of course she would know.
Hoping for the moment an oracle would become one of them. An aspiration.
Now my heart is beating like a steam hammer trying to pound its way out of my chest. I was worried about this. A wave of nausea washes over me. What's wrong with me? I think her mum would be perfect as going in as Harmony, but I don't think we... There's still a chapter after this one. But only in this one. I decide to consult the aspirations despite your reluctance to dictate the end of the story. I just hope it don't look too old back and brittle. I open my eyes and they're all
Who
there
were
waiting.
the Oracles? How did you choose them? Did you even choose at all?
Yeah, I would like to know that.
What do you want from me? Really?
The silence that follows is heavy, laced with unspoken thoughts. I see a few of the gathered figures cast anxious glances at one another.
So, nothing's changed, has it? I'll have to figure this out by myself.
Wow. Zero help. Close my eyes again, imagining myself back in
Harmony,
Britain.
wait!
My eyes
Don't call me that!
The truth is, we chose the first oracle out of desperation.
Makes sense.
We needed them.
We needed their guidance.
We needed an end to the war. An end we were unable to bring about ourselves.
So, that's all they were? At all?
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Initially, yes.
But then, well, we realized you're all right, you lot. humanity.
You may not believe this, but it turned out we'd been so obsessed with our own affairs that we'd completely overlooked everything in Brittle.
Not surprised.
And so the arrangement became permanent, and the oracles became a guiding hand on the rudder of reverie.
Not leaders, but advisors.
Major domos.
Producers.
Friends!
But what about me? What do you want from me?
That, I'm afraid, is up to you. What kind of oracle you choose to become is not up to us. It is the very nature of the agreement that you continue as your own person.
Okay, that's good.
Right, right.
Ooh. I close my eyes and I'm back in Brittle. I'm getting the hang of this now, hopping between realms. Time pauses easily as I hop back and forth between Brittle and the sanctuaries. The audience is watching.
In that case, I'm going to be...
And here comes a choice that we don't want to make. Ah! Yeah, this is spiritual. This is ambitious. I can only go with empathetic. There's no way I would choose anything else. Hell to the no. I close my eyes for a moment before addressing the crowd
As the Oracle, I want to be empathetic. As the Oracle, I want to feel what others feel. And consider how others will react.
Because that's been how we've been making choices this whole time.
Every decision must be for the benefit of the many, not the few.
Because otherwise we're just as bad as MK. People are smiling and there are a few claps. Oh, I have to choose more. Must be dedicated to more than just materialistic considerations. I mean, sure. But I do also like... I'm gonna go with this. Again, because of the glory crystal more than... But spiritual is sometimes too high-reaching, I think, to be of actual relevance to the people in the real world, in the physical realm. I feel a hammering on my chest as I open
An
my mouth
oracle
again.
has to be fearless, ambitious, determined.
I mean, if I could choose, I would choose all.
Every decision I make must be firm, with everything I have behind it. Change requires strength, and I have the strength to be an effective oracle.
Crowd cheers. They like this talk of directness. No, I can't choose that. I will choose this, definitely. I don't know how building the mace falls into all this, but the crowd's talking. As the murmurs merge, I manage to make out the overriding opinion. The oracle I'm describing is kind of warrior.
Yes. A valid choice. Indeed, the very first oracle had the heart of a warrior. To bring about peace, they turned to war. They urged us to fight. To show our prowess on the field of battle.
Well, I also think with Truth's approach, if we were to face MK with that, we would probably
Fighting and fighting until all were weakened. Exhausted, and we saw that nothing had changed. We realized the futility of it all. The pointless waste. The Oracle had us build the labyrinth. A maze to store all our grievances. A place where they could be... forgotten. We still bear the scars of that quarrel. In more ways than one.
Well, the maze was only chaos.
And of course, there was only one real way to end the war. They had to bring peace to Brittle, too.
Yeah. Pretty much what I want. Okay, there's options. Okay. Yeah, but I wanted to get my hands on the secret. Well, I can do both. I think I'm interested in this one. And again, bond crystal. The aspiration fades, and the crowd before me comes into focus.
Wait.
They brush my back as I step forward. They've been so silent I didn't even see them arrive.
That sounds like a pretty lousy way to end a war.
True. And the war, can they see the aspirations now? They move beside me and place a hand on the small of my back. I turn to them and they smile, reassuring but also enticing. Oma must see the look of confusion pass over my face.
Polly, you were talking about the first oracle like you were relaying someone else's words.
I come to. Yana smiles, rubs my arm tenderly and moves behind me.
Yes. I didn't. realise I was, I guess.
Ursula
They're
nods at
right,
Liana.
of course. The role of an oracle should be to integrate themselves into reverie. Immerse themselves in the ways of the aspirations.
I know if I had access to all human wisdom and knowledge, I'd definitely want to learn from them.
Yes, but we don't want to become a permanent resident either. Jade rolls her eyes. Nora nudges her as Yana looks over, a curious expression on their face. Okay, interesting. Oh, okay. An offering from Reverie. An offering from Atena. Find rest in Atena. This is heavy. This is so heavy. Okay, wait, let's look at these. A sense of wisdom. Okay. Unlimited strength. No, I don't care about that. But the secret. I think this is about, yes, whether we will become the aspiration harmony or not. Gift of prescience. A necklace? It's a necklace. I don't know if I have used that. A secret ally. Oh my god. Every choice right now is so hard. Let me think this through. Well, if this means allies and still having chaos by our side, I don't know. So many crystals to be gained as well. And if I choose none. But yeah, unlock by am I next? I mean, I didn't unlock this for nothing. Kind of what I'm worried about. Maybe I can do both sides, I think. But I'm not sure. Sense of wisdom. I don't particularly care about that. Unlimited strength, absolutely don't care about that. So this is the only one that kind of piques my interest over here. And it's spend time in Reverie, not stay in Reverie. But this one is also find rest in Atena, which sounds weird after everything we just said. The gift of prescience. I don't know, that's probably to do with Nora, or whether we gain the gift of prescience if we refuse everything else. Something about the necklace. Are we passing it on to someone? Is that what's going to happen? This will unlock. Use the necklace. Oh, okay. And this one unlocks something much higher than this one. I can't see. And then a secret ally. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know. Dang it. Because, yeah, I've been wondering a lot about the necklace. What is it even made of? Does it contain agrabah? Like a teeny tiny bit? Why didn't it work before? It's the phrasing of the sentences that's kind of worrying me. I do want that chaos crystal. Yeah, I'm too worried that she's gonna turn into the newest harmony. There are no aspirations here, but I feel the words flowing through me.
The first oracle split their time between the realms. They learned from the aspirations, but also their fellow humans. This was their skill. Duality of perspective.
And it sounds a lot like, for example, two-spirit people.
But to end the war in Brittle, they ended up spending more time there than in Reverie. They spread the word of their sister realm and the aspirations that lived there. They told people the lessons they'd learnt there. Used those lessons to improve the world. Soon, the population gathered around the Oracle, willing them to bring peace. And soon, the Oracle gained the power needed to fulfill that wish.
Which is kind of what we're going for as well at the moment. So far, seems good. This object has its own history. And I'd love to know. Chaos now. There's a particular aspiration that stands apart from the others, which I do agree. Though Gloria was separated from them and sequestered away, she's reintegrated quickly. Not so with Chaos, who may never have been fully integrated to begin with. An ocean of strange history churns up muck from its seabed. Our minds clouded with
the Oracle noticed how interested Chaos was in humanity.
Who, me?
Well, to the point of falling in love with it.
And that aspiration grew closer to them As the Oracle spent more time away from Reverie, they joined them on their extended trips to Brittle. They enjoyed the unpredictability of the human race.
Her mum might also not have been the first Oracle that they fell in love with.
Well, I'm sure I don't know anything about this.
Chaos told the first Oracle a secret. That they were shunned by their fellow aspirations. Ostracized because no one wanted to admit the truth. Chaos is the most powerful of them all.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. The crowd is hooked. I don't even know if it's me who's telling the story now, or it's them, or all of the aspirations are talking through me. But all these words, all these stories, they want to hear more. As if caught in the same strange trance, Uma addresses the crowd.
This was back when Atina was facing its darkest days. There was an ecological disaster. The specifics are lost to time, but we know the population was devastated by vicious storms, which brought floods and mudslides.
Okay, that just made me remember like another TikTok, or rather it's a collage of TikToks. So I don't remember, was it 2017? I don't remember the exact year, but Hank Green, who has done science shows on YouTube and everything, his brother being the writer, talked about these weird, oh god, I don't remember what they're called, but basically the inside of the Earth is not just that round blob that is the node. There are actually two massive, almost ocean-sized kind of magma shapes that they couldn't explain before. Not really. But they are under the Pacific Ocean and under Africa. And really enough, actually in recent discoveries, I think it was called Thea, but I would have to look it up. Actually when Earth was very freshly molded, because again, this is scientific research. I'm not fucking making this up, but if I hadn't seen a TikTok, I wouldn't fucking know about this, and I definitely want to read more about it in the days to come. So there was no moon, Earth was freshly shaped, and another neoplanet actually crashed into the Earth. So now I also have questions about, like, wait, so we had the massive asteroid or whatever it was that eradicated dinosaurs later, but we also had this happen before. So what happened is that this planet, which was bigger than Earth, crashed into it, and some of the residue that was catapulted into the universe from that crash actually became our moon. So our moon is basically made of our own, like, Earth matter, per se, and parts of Thea. And Thea and Earth kind of like were clushed together, and if I remember correctly, like the top half was more fluid and the lower half wasn't, and it took obviously a huge chunk of time for it to cool down and actually form into this planet. But we're basically sitting on, like, I guess 1/3 of Earth and 2/3 of Thea, and that those shapes that are at the inner core are still a remnant from that clash, actually, which, like, is mind-blowing. Because basically, like, yeah, Earth is actually the pastiche or collage of two neoplanets into one, and the moon was literally fucking part of ours beforehand. So, yeah, I definitely want to read up on that, but this is kind of also, like, reminding me of this, with, like, talking about disasters and weird things, and this is all before there was life on it, of course.
Then, as they are wont to do, a dictator arose, taking advantage of the pain and suffering to wield absolute power.
Wow, that also doesn't sound like something in our history books.
The people were despondent. The ruling class's own inadequacy provided the perfect distraction. As they lurched from one calamity to the next, the populace grew ever more apathetic.
And that is a real risk.
When there were signs of rebellion, half the populace looked away, or sided against their own interests.
Yeah, we see a lot of manipulation with that outcome.
It was up to the Oracle to break this cycle, to break the system that had enslaved the people. So they had to act. They decided to.
Like, honestly, in my opinion, this is definitely a game for adults. Like, this is really not. Oh my god. Holy fucking shit. Oh, that is quite a decision already. Okay, so what are the options? Face the tyrant. Good villain for the hero to shine. Put faith in the people. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go with that. Sorry, Glory. I love you, but no, out of the two choices, nah. Images float before my eyes. Speeches, learning, the forging
The
of new
Oracle
systems.
had faith in the people to dig themselves out. They pursued a path of knowledge, teaching the populace a different way to live.
Maybe this is too optimistic, hey?
The foundations of new forms of government were built. Curiosity reigned, and people studied the world around them. What's more, people shared their knowledge. They didn't secret it away or censor it. They taught one another. This gave them more power. Through the sum of that knowledge, they decided to...
Oh. Well, apparently I can't do this one anyway. Okay.
They decided to start again, thanks to the gift of prescience. The Oracle and a select few decided to begin a new cycle, outside of the old.
I mean, because I don't think a young person of, like, let's say 12, 13 would understand any of this and how it relates to our state of being.
They believed Athena had become unsalvageable. That they had to instead create the world they wanted to live in.
Well, we don't have any choice. But it wasn't enough.
The Oxion civilization collapsed.
Too late? I tried too late? I mean, that kind of feels like how we're doing with climate change.
After a few decades, all that was left were some musty books and ruins. The tyrant destroyed the rest, but the Oracle and their followers were safe. They found a corner of Athena to call home. A space where the tyrant's influence was weak.
Also reminiscent of Speakers, I guess, in Castlevania, which reminds me to actually go and finish watching the second season of Castlevania. Well, not season, the second story, basically. The second edition.
They created their own way of life and lived in peace.
The words stopped and I feel the rest of my breath leave my body. The crowd seemed satisfied. It wasn't a happy ending, but neither was it a
Great!
bad.
So, what? This Oracle and their cultists just left the rest to hang?
My thoughts precisely.
And they thought this tyrant would just let them be. Let me guess. That didn't happen?
But wait. Change is a long-term process, right? You told me that.
Sure.
So how do you enact long-term change if there's no one around to, you know, actually change things? That dictator guy, long gone. Consigned to the history books. How many people here have even heard of him?
No one raises
What
hand.
if that's because of the seeds the Oracle planted? Planted on their own terms?
Jade signs and rubs her forehead. I'm expecting resistance, but when she looks up, there's a light in her eyes.
Yeah, maybe you're right. So go on then. Which aspiration are you going to choose? Who becomes the heart?
I'm too tired for this right now, but it looks like the crowd isn't. The gathered people seem to have an opinion. Wait, anything and everything I've done is pointless now? You got to be kidding. I don't think I can do this. Oh, that was an Okwai secret. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm very glad that that was indeed, that would have been her turning into Harmony, and we nipped that in the bud. Have 3 glory crystals, so we can't really do this apparently. Okay, that seems odd though, because if this were us choosing glory, why does it say, I get it, you certainly didn't see me at my best, well, your loss? Huh? Okay, looking at this. Fine, whatever, leave me to solve, good day, I say. Chaos, I can't really tell you a lot, to be honest. Because that's just what we gain, but a story about knowledge. I have been chosen many times. I am suited to the role. This is quite humbling, to be honest. And you're missing out. At some point you must do what needs to be done. We only have 3 choices and I don't want to choose truth, so I'm between chaos and bond. I can't even see the heart from here. Oh my god, no. And I'm not sure if that means what it means either, because the texts are throwing me off. Because chaos is saying I can't really tell you a lot, to be honest. What does that mean? And the story about luck is not really something positive in my opinion. A story about love. It's quite humbling, to be honest. I don't know where the crystals are. I know Bond is missing quite a few. So if I gain 15 Bond crystals, that's good either way. I just don't know if this will make them the new heart or not. And I really want to give it to chaos, but I need to have good reasons as to why, and the fact that it says a story about luck is not inspiring me with a lot of trust and confidence, so I have to go with Bond on this one and just hope everything will turn out. Okay, because why have we been building the heart then? And collected all of these crystals if we don't use it later. Prescience in the crowd immediately start to whisper a single name, Bond. Nora obviously sees my ears perk up.
Connection, empathy. Yeah. I think Bond would have been Grandpa's choice too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
It has been a long, long time since I was elected Heart.
I was afraid you would say that.
Maybe because humans often associate kindness and understanding with weakness and frailty. But when I am placed at the center of reverie, connections are made.
Yeah.
Art, creativity, trade, all flourish.
Which is perfect for Linnaeus.
Eras under my guidance often see the growth of incredible civilizations.
Not to mention she studied neurology, so she would know that the interconnectivity is like a matter.
But often, these cultures would grow cruel and overwhelming. When expansion required it, colonization often came.
Looking at you, UK, with your industrial face. Yeah, most of the UK.
I will never get used to the duality of your kind. Capable of such incredible empathy and such cold devastation.
That's why there needs to be counterbalance. I relay his words to the crowd. Many agree, and despite the potential downsides, think Bond is still the best choice. Oh, okay. Oh, I can. Okay, I definitely want to see what they say about Chaos. What Chaos has to say for themselves. Ursula steps up.
I think you know where my loyalties lie.
Chaos.
Yes. The unknown. The unrealized potential of just letting go of everything. The idea of trying something genuinely new and fresh.
The crowd is intrigued, at least.
No, that would be a terrible choice.
Even Chaos.
I thought you'd jump at the chance. After all the trouble you got into with my mother?
Well, that's rather the point, isn't it? No one ever chose me as Heart because no one knows what would actually happen. Not even me. It could mean anything. The very end of existence as you know it. An anarchist utopia of unlimited sex and drugs.
I mean, we've heard worse.
Or a generation of stagnation and apathy. I mean, yes, it'd be fun to find out. But then what? What if it all goes tits up? That'd be no fun at all.
I relay his words to the crowd. Ursula smiles wryly to herself. They're still interested. If the system has given you nothing, change becomes extremely inviting. Can't do any of the others. The only one I could still do is the truth. But do I want that many crystal in truth? That's the question. And the problem is indeed that I cannot see where the heart is. Aspirations, I think, was second highest. Truth was second highest after bliss. I think it was bliss, and then it was truth. Glory is obviously the lowest, and then I don't remember. I know bond was the lowest, and then between power and chaos, I don't remember. This truth is high. I'm suited to know the story of knowledge. Let's go. I think it would be unfair not to listen to truth. I almost have
I've dedicated my whole life to the pursuit of truth. Historical truth. Emotional truth. Philosophical truth. So, I think you can see where my preferences lie here.
Some of the Get a crowd's non-sagely.
I would certainly be a valid choice. Many of your kind, like this young man, are naturally drawn to me.
I do feel sorry that neither Bliss, Glory, nor Power get to speak, because ideally all of them should have been allowed to say their piece.
But this is often because they believe I know your kind better than you know yourselves. Regardless, in previous eras where I took the position of heart, learning increased. Knowledge flourished. So too did religion. The institutional search for the greater truth. Systemic institutions grew in power. Governments, religious authorities, educational systems.
Just not.
But the truth is nothing if not rigid, immovable, definite.
Because we often speak of systemic racism.
Truth does not mean equality. It means serving a greater purpose.
And that often brings sacrifice. I relate to his words. Some members of the crowd are unconvinced while others are all in. Okay. Now we're done here. And with that, my story ends. Or it concludes for now at least. It's late, people are tired, they begin to drift back to the naiads to sleep. I hear my story repeated in different voices all across the beach, in discussions and debates and arguments even. For me, it clarified things, like the decision I'll have to make. I stifle a yawn and make my excuses to the few who remain. All that can wait, until tomorrow. And here we go, last chapter. Last act, I presume. There's a lot of intertwined paths. 3 hours in, on the edges of fate. That song streams into my room. I open my eyes to sunlight. Morning. And immediately I'm overwhelmed by intrusive thoughts. The state of Athena, the aspirations, the choices are made. Laszlo. I push the thoughts aside as I head to the shower. The least I can do is approach the day feeling good about myself. When I'm done, I head over to the main building. My thoughts are more ordered now, at least. There's still a lot of them running through my head. I hear the warble of someone's trivet, a news report, Ursula's lawsuit against MK. The reason we've all been so on edge. It's been dismissed. Out of hand. I catch some fragments of the judgment, insufficient this, inconclusive that. I'm already so overwhelmed by the weight of the world that it barely registers. So much has happened in such a short time. Even during the downtime, I still never really got a handle on it. Wow, I have to focus because I'm about to start crying over this dismissal. I look over to Laszlo's garden. Someone is tending to the plants there. Wait, maybe Yana? I don't recognize them. Okay. Not. So I think that's the only person who could potentially pick it up. The kitchen's full of people coming and going just like it was in the old days, but now I hardly know any of the people here. It feels good to have the naiads so busy, but I miss waking to the sound of Laszlo's coffee machine, to Nora's laugh. Yeah, I guess this community without a sense of community. Ursula isn't here either. This was where it all started, where I found the necklace and the new world that came with it. I take a deep breath, taking in the aromas of my childhood, now tinged with so much more than nostalgia. I stood. This is it then. The end of the story, or at the very least a pause. My options seem so overwhelming. Then I hear it, a hum, a buzz, a soft voice. The same voice that called me, that led me to the necklace over a month ago. But this isn't the necklace, it's below me. I can sense it now. close my eyes and I'm back at the lake. It is real, right below the Naiads. Makes sense, it explains why this place is so important to us all. And no one knows, no one but me. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I have changed. I'm a different person. I feel charged with a new energy, renewed. I don't want her to disappear on the armor though. I really don't. Man, I really can't see the thing anymore. Okay, we're only given one choice. Well, one side that reaches out. Whatever lies ahead, I can't shake the feeling that I need more clarity, more control, and there's only one place I can find it. Here we are again. Once I thought this place might become a second home. Now it only reminds me of everything that's happened. There's still that deep feeling of history, however, as if merely existing here is trespassing on sacred ground. I suppose in a way it is.
Don't even know what I'm doing here.
Sure you do, Sprout.
I can't help but smile as Bliss walks curiously about
The Augural. It's not enough. Not anymore.
And with all the egregor you've gathered up, you're gonna supercharge it.
I think so. It might allow me to change things, change the future. How do I know this?
Part of every oracle is of reverie. Your subconscious is linked to us aspirations, and the sum total of our knowledge. Egregor is our source of power, just as it is the Augurals. But no one has ever risked exposing themselves to such an amount.
Oh, thanks for telling us now. There's no disapproval in True's voice, just cold reality.
But will it work?
Yes, but not perhaps in the manner you expect. You will become one with time itself. Your presence on this plane will bend in ways even I cannot foresee.
Days will feel like seconds, months like hours, years like... well, you get the idea.
And back here? In reality? I don't want the others to worry.
To them, you will be present and absent. There, but not there.
Like a cat in a box.
Remember what I told you way back when we met?
Try not to think about it too much.
I don't.
I concentrated, and the pool of egregor shimmers under an unseen light before me. I know what I have to do. I don't! Before I can think twice, I take a deep breath and dive headfirst into the iridescent blue. What? I'm dead. I must be. I'm floating in a void to be reft of feeling. But no, I'm still here, alive, and I can feel the power I so desperately sought. I see places where I am not. Through the eyes of people I know. I see the world as if through compound eyes, each angle a new vision of reality. I see. Wow. Okay. I boosted True and Chaos. Glory did catch up quite a bit. Oh wow. Edges of the end. This is thankful. I'm literally only given. Yeah, everything is locked except my own. Because I didn't choose any of them. So if I had chosen, it's, yeah, I don't know. I hear voices calling to me from the void. Some are forceful, others playful. The aspirations are calling to me, but I ignore them, for now at least. Right now I want to be alone with myself. The egregor has given me a certain clarity that wasn't there before. And I think confidence, or the ability to see the confidence I already had, to use it to its fullest. There are obstacles ahead. I see strife and pain before things even have the chance to improve. But they look manageable. I see myself overcoming them without outside help. The voices change. There's a distinct impression of awe amongst them now. Like, I've passed some kind of test. Or I think she is becoming harmony. Yeah, but none of them work. Yeah. Time and self voices fade and are replaced by images of faces. Athena, my home. A young woman buys groceries from a store, waving to the owner as she leaves. As she walks away, she notices a camera scanning her face, the MK logo on its side. I see two teams of children playing football. The ball soars through the air, narrowly missing a drone. It flashes a message. The child has been fined. MK operatives will visit his parents soon. What? I see a man at work on a computer, his fingers typing a dance across a keyboard. He writes a story of a hero overcoming oppression of a villainous organization named Concern. Every image I see, every flash of every reality, MK is there. I can feel the butterfly flapping its wings, and the storm front changing course. I can feel it all. Little reference to Love is Strange. What? So we have to. Okay, we can't do this one. We need 3 choices for that. On this side. Okay. The images begin to fade, or rather they are refocused. They all orbit a single location, the center of all the future streaming out from this moment. I think it should be they all orbit. The Naiads. This is the locus of all things, brittle, reverie, armor, and MK. Feel my hands, the sensation of force as I choose to feel my hands reach out. Begin to shepherd the futures, shape them into a wave that will wash MK and its plans away. Oh, we're taking control, yeah. I haven't done these. Right, into the fray. Yeah. After recent events, the Naiads has become a bastion caught between 2 warring tribes. On one side, the locals of Alma in active revolt, on the other, the cooperative overlords of Mono Concern. It's an unenviable
Saw another patrol.
When?
10 minutes ago. 4 of them this time.
Bloody drones. What are they even looking for?
Not 4. At. They're looking at us. And making sure we know it.
Under Ursula's ownership, these buildings have always been a place for the needy or desperate. But now they're a neutral state in a rapidly evolving conflict. There's nothing we can do. Okay. These mean the most activity as she met a lot of people fighting MK. Unlock Ursula's censored. Jade moves in the same circles as journalists. Unlock Jade's arrest. So this unlocks this one. Okay, it unlocks it, but it doesn't have to be that choice, right? What is this? In case internal conflict. Unlock Vajana's connections. And I have to choose one. I don't want Jade to get arrested. I don't even want to open that possibility. I reach out and shape the future I wish to bring about. It starts with my mother, which I think makes, yeah, doesn't make sense. She storms from the Naiads one morning, muttering to herself. She heads out into Alma looking for someone. She finds who she's looking for, an old anarchist acquaintance reaching out to her for the first time in a long time. They hug, smile. They haven't seen each other in more than a decade. My mother remembers her well. Soon there are many others connecting and reconnecting, anarchists, anti-establishment radicals, communists, rebels. A network is formed, a solid bed of resistance, and crucially, one of experience. I think that actually, yeah. It's not up to the young to shoulder everything, as much as Jade has obviously invested in all of this. I feel time accelerate before my eyes. Aloft as the world spools forward at high speed, little figures dancing like puppets. My laughter quickly fades. I see MK's reach expand. They recover quickly from the events of the last few weeks. Emboldened, out of blood. You ever had the confidence in the structural construction of the workshop? Well, kudos. That looks insane. I see houses repossessed, families thrown out onto the streets. I see communities devastated by disappearances. Well, also the West Bank. This sounds very like MK. You could replace MK with is not real, and you'd have a very similar situation. I see police brutality. I see how it's ignored and covered up. I see the fake news and sensationalism. I see a fleet of drones blocking out the sun's rays. Wait for someone to report these later for hate crime, whatever. 2 turns, okay. Again, you have the least glory and bond and power? To remember. Eventually, MK grows bold enough to act more directly. Electricity, water, internet, they control it all. Yeah, that is definitely also something I'm worried about. If we lose control of the internet as is. We do have internet 3.0. But I'm still worried. Because most people cannot navigate it because they lack the in-depth knowledge of how to make the best use of the interconnectivity of the internet. I mean, I see it very often in my students as well. Only by their grace are neighborhoods heated, watered, connected. Now the privilege is revoked from those it deems a threat. Almost severed from the network, all the networks. Again, Gaza. Authorized like a rotten limb.
I checked. It's not just us. It's Alma. The whole neighborhood. No water, no power, nothing.
Wait, they can't do that. Can they do that?
Legally, no. They can't. Which means...
And they still do what they
Which means they're no longer operating under the rule of law.
I'm sure there was a rainwater filter system, right? Oh no. Why is this still locked? I never use Yana's connections. Right. Oh shit. A few days after the shutdown, nothing has been done. There was dissent and outrage from the residents, but the media looked away and the police refused to intervene.
MK are becoming bold. The old anarchists and would-be revolutionaries have been going dark for their own safety and mine.
I don't blame them. First thing these assholes do is come for the dissidents.
Yes, that's what concerns me.
They call it the blacklist, a record of figures whose work may not be published or sold under any circumstances. Ursula receives the notification in the morning. It takes until midnight for the news to sink in. Have one case. Well, I don't. Have one truth. Well, I don't. Please, let me do this. Time rolls on without me. I choose to remain above the crunching, grinding interactions of cause and effect. I watch fate slide its piece across the board and do nothing. But it is inaction laced with intent. I trust to fate. Do we really? Or watch the future unfold? I don't know if I would trust fate. I personally wouldn't. Okay, we're done over here. We have to go. Almost sinking. Shit. So we need to prevent this, or this is absolutely necessary for people to come to their senses, maybe? The entire island of Etna feels the effects of MK's actions. Some more than others, and it caused problems for MK too. The message came through loud and clear. You control everything. We're unbeatable. Blah blah blah. MK is Atina. Without services, without networks, without support, Alma starts to wither on the vine. Children go to bed cold and hungry. The adults fear for the future. Day after day, people rush to the beach en masse. The rolling waves have become the only way to stay clean and sanitary. Now I see. Which again is probably smell wafts through the streets. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm swearing a shit ton. Fuel to the fire. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of inevitable. It's the oldest trick in the book. Create a problem, present a solution. Be the villain to become the hero. MK starts handing out vouchers, free accommodation, hot showers, food and shelter. People flock to these new poorhouses. Some end up temporarily barracked in the very apartments they were evicted from. But even so, pro-MK sentiments...
Another group of prescients just left.
Please don't tell me they...
There's a new temporary accommodation centre over at the old cinema. Hot food, beds, heat.
Damn. Of all people, they should know better. They should have seen.
They do. They have. They don't care.
That's the saddest part. Oh, but yeah.
They know we can't provide. Maybe they thought they were doing us a favour, reducing the mouths we have to feed.
It's hard to look a gift horse in the mouth when it's the only thing standing between your children and starvation. The aspirations look over the situation with concern. This is, yeah, future we've kind of been just as permanent 2% dreams to help them get through it. Yes, and parallels and dreams of resistance. And them working together is actually one members will have to go. I need both. I'm gonna go with both of these, yeah. That's solid. I'm glad I don't have to choose one. With the last vestiges of its connection to reverie, MK pushes back. Its new advertising campaign is ruthlessly effective, targeting those ground down by the constant unrest. Remember how easy life used to be, it says. Remember when things were good. It works at first. But the campaign pushes power and chaos, the most unlikely of allies, to the breaking point. Together they send the people visions of chaotic freedom and force and created new strength. Endure, adapt, survive. And then Bond and Bliss is perfect. Follow up. Bliss and Bond meet to discuss the suffering. They embrace and talk for hours. Eventually they come together in agreement. They will send pleasant dreams to the population. Islands of calm amid the storm. A sense of peace forms across Alma, taut and fragile, but there. People are still downtrodden, but at least now they awake each morning refreshed. The aspirations continue to observe the situation with growing concern. Eventually, something snaps. Perhaps it was the rationing of water and the cancellation of the regular aid shipments. Or the police raid gone wrong, the body bags stank in the street. Either way, the aspirations of reverie choose to act together. When night falls, the population dreams of nothing but revolt. Justice achieved at the end of an improvised battle. Tabletops fashioned into riot shields. Overthrow, revolt, resist. Friend wants to play it, but I don't know if he's gonna enjoy it, how politically driven it is, but then again he likes anything like the Detroit Become Human, so I think he will appreciate this. The tide is turning against the people, whether through fear or suffering or both. MK remains ahead. The stocks recently at an all-time low rally, investor meetings end with smiles and handshakes. Alma remains off-net, no journalists visit, no stories are posted. Feelings of hope and determination fade. The world appears to move on. That's how many countries feel at the moment. Okay, we can go over here. Just as the final glimmer of hope appears to splutter and die as cinder catches, a newborn glow of possibility pulses faintly in the dark. Fragile, vulnerable, but there. Did I do this? Did I inspire this? You catastrophe? Was it the aspirations working as they promised, or was it the simplest explanation of pure dumb luck? Well, that would be chaos. It was only a minute ago. A natural change. A change settles over the island, though no one can say where it came from. One concern loosens its grasp. Restrictions are lifted, networks re-established. The residents of Alma react with confusion as a battle they didn't know they were fighting ends in apparent
Makes
victory.
no sense.
Everything that's happened, it has to have had an effect on their bottom line. Maybe that's why...
No, Ursula's right. They don't think like that short term. This doesn't make sense at all. But whatever the reason is, we should be thanking our lucky stars.
None concern retreats, his presence still casting a shadow over the island, but his actions slowly stop. How? Not that we're not appreciative of course. Again, more branches. Across Atina, the air clears. Rafts are drawn off relief and sadness both. The skies are clear, the streets free of security personnel. The question is just like those that went to the for housing and everything. But those that didn't, there might be some feelings between the two. For a while there is joy, until people remember those who gave in. Parties puncture the night silence, cries of happiness and passion and tears over those who were lost. Date and Nora confess their love. Oh, finally! I mean, we all saw that, blindfolded. Ursula sits alone with two glasses. She taps her drink against the other and thinks of the man she has lost. Oma takes stock, totting up the precise number of priceless manuscripts destroyed by needless discord. Yana is Yana. They party and plan, never stopping for rest. Yeah, that's why they sound like a good match. But then reality returns, and Kay is, for all intents and purposes, gone. So what happens next? What you said, from the shadow lurking. Okay, apparently I'm only... well, I have to go this way. I have to do that. The news is bad.
No, I'm serious. There's nothing left.
Well, there must be something. Don't supermarkets have, I don't know, reserve stock or something?
No, definitely not. That's what the supply chain was for, you know, the supply chain that just collapsed.
But there should be flour at least. Food, energy, organized shelter. MK left a gaping hole at the center of Atina, and until something government, charities, NGOs arrive to fill it, there's not much left. The loss of MK feels like a weight lifting from the shoulders of every inhabitant of the island. The loss of control feels beneficial, somehow freeing. Everyone pulls toward the same goal without thinking about ego. There are meetings where everyone's opinion is treated as sacrosanct, everyone gets to say their piece. And from consensus the future of Aten is drawn. Okay, two choices. Oxian way. Scratch. I mean, the Oxians eradicated themselves in one way and another. I'm not gonna put up trust in that. So many mistakes were made by the ruling elite. It is a sign that there is nothing to salvage from the old ways. Atena's society must be rebuilt from the ground up. Also because nothing is the same. The situation is not the same, the climate is not the same, the number of population is not the same. How food is brought in and provided to people is not the same. The first decree is the banning of overt capitalistic practice. Oh, I wish. Trade is allowed, but profiteering and greed are cast as social ills. On the other side, the problem is you will always have people who will want more. Even discussing them in public is seen as gauche, unpleasant. I wish, but I do think that is a bit realistic. Agena heals and passes. I think this is all still what we see through the Gregor. The months roll by one after another, wounds heal but scars remain. Everyone on Atina bears them now, no matter their former allegiances. But there is laughter on the streets again. Simple pleasures are had without feeling guilt. There is growth. And I guess we're gonna end up all the way on the left because we didn't gather one crystal of this whole thing. News travel abroad about recent events on Atina. Now a flock of investors is looking into funding new structures, systems and infrastructures on the island. Well, if you set strict rules about their involvement, new opportunities arise all across Eton and a flurry of
They
activity.
opened a new store. Did you see?
The one sponsored by the car company? Yeah, we need to be careful. We can't afford to backslide into oppression just because they flash us a golden smile.
True. They've got great bomba, though.
Well... Oh, shit.
Yeah, you can bribe people with food. Well, I guess it's what this. Yep. Can't go anywhere else. Atena's changing. No longer crushed by Monoconstant's punishing grip, power structures shift in favor of equality. No single individual or organization would govern Athena again. To do so would tip the scale too harshly and thus unbalance it would collapse. Some may try, if so, they'll learn. Athena has changed. Each and every community now has a say in their island's decisions. It's a beautiful thing to behold, a seat of scales in perfect balance. Will they remain like that, though? Time has come. Right. I hate final decisions and stuff like that. Don't do this to me. Wow, the beach is really close. I've never noticed that it was literally just down here. Something has changed. The wind rising from the sea carries hopes and dreams in its ephemeral current, soothing on the scars. Yeah, I would love to see the current state of it. In reverie, the air is warm, the red sky shivering as if in anticipation. Every passing moment is punctured by the echoes of a steady heartbeat. For the first time in what feels like aeons,
It worked. I made...
You saw the many-faceted future and made it your own.
They're here, all of them.
You are here with us. Together, we are real. Quite the experiment back there. I don't even think I'd have dared do something as batshit as that.
Oh, that is the best compliment you can get.
But it worked, didn't it? Look at what she did.
She risked destroying the fabric of reality itself to shape fate to her will.
Don't recommend doing that on the regular.
I am impressed, Harmony.
And now? What happens now?
Now, honey, it's showtime.
The time has come to make my final choice. No more delays, no more indecision. A new heart awaits. I think I've failed the balance. Apparently, I only have 3 options. Balance and brittle. Watch time go by rather than accepting the aspirations of and the heart's beating so fast. Born anew, brittle and reverie are held in a new balance, and it has to do with me? Why are my hands so hot? Technically I should only be able to pick this one. Balance and reverie. With Athena free from MK, reverie changes too. Oh, I have to pick all 3 anyway. I have to pick all 3. Why am I always worried until I see that I have to pick all 3 anyway? Okay. So we're starting left and then right and then middle. Athena saved itself. It faced adversity and without the help of others, righted itself against the storm. There is a pride there now, an identity that was suffocated under the boot heel of Monoconsan. And that pride is all I need to see what's needed. Something new, something of this place. Okay, tremendous. Change comes to reverie. Old rivalries darken and fade. Each aspiration is granted a new perspective on their world and the next. Each aspiration looks to the others as equals. Bitch, then you don't need me to be your babysitter. Competition is forgotten. Balance reigns in reverie for the first time in its existence. Seriously? No oracle before managed that? I feel the touch of infinity. To see the depths of the cosmos and what it is to know one's place within. I love that this is the sentiment towards the end, because next we're going to go into the game that Anna is going to basically control, but not today probably. But that's definitely the next. Before I go to Gisont. Terrifying, humbling, horrific. But the fear passes as my vision. What passes for vision swims with starlight. A mandala of connections, a tapestry of the interwoven links that bind fate to reality and causality to consequence. We're just gonna have to see how and when we do it, because obviously I want to keep it as short as possible. I already played the demo. So we're gonna go through, I think, a lot of that quickly. And I have D&D tomorrow evening, so yeah. We do a stream, then it's more likely in the afternoon. And also depending on when I wake up. Or much later and after D&D, which usually wraps up at 10 my time. A mandala of connections, a tapestry of the interwoven links that bind fate to reality and causality to consequence. I feel my concept of what is expand. The future explodes into a web of paths untaken. Time ceases its forward motion and becomes as a tranquil sea. I have become more than I once was, and also somehow less as the idea of Polly evaporates amongst the endless stars. I'm worried about that. I don't want her. Oh no. Because I don't want her to give up her life, if that's what it means.
It is done. She is here.
Reverie feels different now. Less like a place and more an extension of my own self. I guess there was no way around it. The other aspirations are gathered around the heart, and I see streams of light connecting them to each other.
Harmony. Welcome.
I smile, and the gathered figures burst into celebration. Bliss charges toward me, wrapping her skinny arms around my waist. Power clasps his mighty hands together in a thunderous cacophony of applause. Bond touches me on the shoulder, and I feel an inner warmth like never before. Truth simply nods, a grin on their lips. Flashbulbs pop and flash as glory bounds dramatically. Chaos runs screaming around the heart, laughing hysterically, followed by a manic pack of dachshunds. What?
I am harmony. I am equilibrium. Peace.
I was worried about this.
I have arrived.
So doesn't that mean that she's... This was basically her mom's role. I reach into the heart and I'm everywhere and nowhere all at once. But she went wrong with that, so we've left to her daughter to do this. Reverie is me and I am reverie. Yeah, she had dreams and aspirations too. I am the heart, and I shall guide this world towards balance. So she could have had her own life if I'd chosen anybody else to be the heart, I guess. Where I belong. Make harmony the new heart of reverie. Me and my self-sacrificing choices. No more oracles. I guess
The
every
world
manga
seems much simpler now.
would be proud of me. And a friend of mine who always chooses about self-sacrifice.
The connective lines of causality dance before me like willing supplicants, showing me the effect before the cause. I left many I loved behind, yet I feel no pain. I can see them, learning from their mistakes, some growing from their suffering, all celebrating their victories. On the tip of my tongue, waves of powerful emotions, each with its own flavor. Nora, Omar, Ursula, Yana. These beloved characters exist in my mind, drawn and cosplayed by my heart and the million souls within it. On the shores of Athena, many believed that Polly was lost. Nothing could be further from the truth. I was not lost. Harmony was found.
But I guess it also means that each of the other respirations was a person at some point.
And I know you will carry this name like a flame.
Except chaos.
As long as my age lives and shines.
Holy! DONTNOD Studio Paris, yeah. I feel like I need a good cry. Holy shit. Jesus. Yeah, right? It was like, I really actually was hoping I could avoid that. But I also kind of don't think that there is any other way to end this. I mean, again, I don't know what would have happened if I'd pumped everything like straight away into bliss. I don't think it would have shortened it. I think it is built in a way that you end up in this, but holy shit, what a game. It has multiple endings, yeah. God, but I can't play all of them. What I usually do is I stream. I'll probably come back to it, but maybe in like half a year or something, because this is definitely a game that you need to play with a fresh mind. I could never do it now because everything is way too raw. I wonder how different it would have been if I had managed to save Laszlo. But again, I don't know, but going Ursula's path and pumping more crystals into chaos seems so selfish. And there was a lot where I missed opportunities for the bond between her and her mother. But I think a lot of that would have been solely focused on her. And I don't think that having Bliss as the heart would have been a bad choice. But I don't know if that would have been enough in regard to the whole MK conflict. But yeah, DONTNOD. I thought we have the names again. Okay, I don't think that I can see that. Asmi Kumet. I'll have to look for it. Wow. But yeah, I don't think this is actually game for young people. I mean, with young, maybe putting it at like 17, 18, because you do need to be able with critical thinking. Also, I'm just gonna assume that the game is pretty loud again. A little bit, yeah. Yeah, it seems to have a tendency to blow up the music. But it's weird, like, I feel somewhat sad, but I also feel very calm. Despite having so hard to try to avoid this outcome. I was choosing and weaving and yeah. Because I wanted balance between all of them, that basically forced the creation of harmony. Ugh, like the idiot I am, I didn't see that coming. I thought there could be just an interconnected heart between all of them, but I guess that's impossible. Well, I mean, now it's possible. But it's impossible without creating harmony. No, because if I open it again and try to push my way into any of the others becoming the heart, I don't know how it would have ended then. I don't know if that we would have missed out on the whole her diving into the egregor to shape the future, or if that would have been given regardless. I think up until the point where we chose Bond and Chaos and Truth at the beach with the story, because I think that was I think that was the cutoff. if that last row where you got like a whole bunch of crystals didn't push any of them into the majority, which I assume was 50, then yeah, it would go into this one. But I really do wonder how any of the others would have helped save Alma. Also, the musical design overall, fantastic. It didn't get on my nerves at any point. It didn't overload, but it also didn't underwhelm. And it is such a small company. Vanishers is out, which is the newest game, which is very much in the vein of Vampire, but I have decided not to buy it because A, I'm shit at any games with fighting, even though you can probably set it too easy. But I haven't even finished Vampire because I'm stuck again. Same place I was stuck the first time I played the game. So I honestly don't know. I think at this point I'd want somebody else to just continue Vampire, and I have friends who have finished it. And I've told friends who are artistically inclined, like, hey, if the space is opening, like, you might really enjoy working for DONTNOD, because it seems an amazing company. The whole board of directors is unfortunately male, but that doesn't, and I think only one person is non-white, but it hasn't affected their storytelling capabilities because obviously there's so many more people, all older teams, that they employ. And like, we've seen it time and time again with Tammy Y, with Life is Strange, with all the different variations of Life is Strange. There's a new one coming out which is also music focused. Unfortunately, I don't remember the title. Vampire is great, but that's also done together with Focus Behavior Entertainment, as is Brandishes. We have this one, we have Jusund, which sounds like it is amazing storytelling as well again. Twin Mirror was cool, but unfortunately I see a lot of ties between Life is Strange 4, which was done by another studio, but under their direction, and Twin Mirror. So that kind of ruined it for me, because they are a bit too similar. Yeah, it really ruined it, but I did like that Life is Strange 4 did pick up the topic of adoption, because every single one has like a different story and situation and family unit kind of. Yeah, it's quite glad. I'm sure I'm forgetting like at least 2-3 games. Remember Me, the very first one, very strong, again, person of color, female protagonist, actually very similar to Polly in certain ways. It's a similar design. I love this, at the very least from the standpoint of diversity. This was great. Having to consider the feelings of different people of different ages, backgrounds, even though like the actual, it's never explicitly said. Like, we know Balkans and that Atina is its own country, but there's nothing, it's not necessarily related to Malta or Cyprus, although it obviously evokes the idea of those places. But like, it's never zoned in on sexuality or identity or any of that. Because there was a trans flag, I was wondering if there was perhaps something telling us that Nora might be trans, but there is nothing about it. And it is an assumption you can make, but that is also completely, utterly pointless, because Nora is just Nora in this case, and Nora is part of the story. And the main thing is that she found love. Nora and Jade found each other. Again, I do feel bad about Yana, but on the other hand, Yana seems to be very capable of keeping themselves busy, so I guess they will be fine. And I think they can guess what happened, and they can respect the decision that was made. But my dumbass, I would just as much as love to see them together. But wow, what a game. And how long was it now? 4 days? Maybe, what, 10 to 12 hours? I don't know, I can't see my Steam right away. I don't want to interrupt this. Sea monkeys, no, Polly, our loved friends and family, all DONTNOD folks. Yeah, from last year. But wow. Not sure my brain can comprehend everything that was happening. Wow. Like, seriously, wow. What a game. What a game. So yeah, it's been 10.7 minutes. I didn't get 6 achievements, but I think they are very much linked to okay, finish Act 4. 96.5% of players have that achievement. Together in the morning, only 15.4% of players have this achievement. That's it, sweetie. The one that I did with Gloria, 20.8%, which I'm not surprised because I think lots of people couldn't forgive Glory. A New Dawn finish all harmony acts. Only 24.7% of players have this achievement. What? I guess people were put off then, maybe? I don't know. Where I Belong, Make Harmony the New Heart of Reverie. Only 12.6% of players have done that. Okay. So what does it say on Steam? The fate of humanity is at stake. Yes, use your gift of clairvoyance to see into the future and stop an apocalypse that threatens the balance between your world and the deities. Yeah, that's I don't know, that's kind of a bit misleading, but sure. I just want to see what, so all reviews mostly positive, but there's only 133. At the moment it has a 50% off promo that ends on the 21st. Yeah, Jusund is the next one I'm going to play, but in between we're doing the one with Anna. It's going to be in Colbeth and gonna calling the shots. Have fun telling me how you want your tarot cards to look. So for Jusund, it says, enjoy meditative vibes in Jusund, an action puzzle climbing game. Scale an immeasurably tall tower and ascend to new heights alongside your watery companion, which looks super cute. Master your climbing tools, find your way up through diverse biomes, and piece together the tower's past. Again, this is immediately reminding me of the previous game that we played with the voices. So, just quickly looking at them. Is a real visual novel with a nicely developed story and fascinating characters. Not perfect, but worth playing. I'm a huge Donut fan, my expectations were quite high. I think that is the problem, though. A quick spoiler for your characters, fully voiced and acted, backgrounds are animated. That doesn't matter. To me, it's definitely about the story. It's a choose your own adventure book. Yeah, with anime illustrations and movie snippets. Enjoyable, it's woke, it's modern, it's worth a playthrough. Dialogue is amazing, so believable. Characters really feel so alive, and you find yourself getting attached and growing wary of them so naturally. I do think, like, there is not one person in all of it, even though we see some of them so little, that is that well rounded. You understand where they come from, you understand how they feel, you understand what their wishes and their fears are. It is so well. I just saw a snippet, so I don't understand why the reviews are so mixed, nor why the game's so underrated. It deserves so much more and so much better. Polly and Young's relationship is so mature and well handled, so is Polly and Nora's. There's this air of grace surrounding DONTNOD's handling of such complicated and messy topics, especially for an exclusively male writing team, which is what I assumed when I saw names. Part of me will always wonder how the writing would end up more balanced in DONTNOD games if women were lead writers, but until that day, this is still a massive, colossal step up from Life is Strange's characterizations and writing. It wasn't bad, but I think I know what they mean. This game has attracted a lot of trolls and bad actors due to its representation of women, queer women, transgender, and non-binary people, which shows me again that might be true. Plural systems, such as Bond, and concepts that transcend gender stereotypes, chaos, and truth. If you want a wonderfully queer story that makes you feel, give this game a chance. The Ogre is also an amazing puzzle to think through to get the outcomes you want per chapter, but they're not always what you need. I think that's so true. That is amazing. That is so wonderful. That was a great way to summarize it. But yes, I will leave you there. And I will obviously talk in Discord still, but yeah. I think, yeah, we need some time to stomach this, and then we'll see when we will do the, what was it, Sisterhood of... Let me quickly try and find it. If Steam would... Steam is half broken. Let's do it another way then. The Cosmic Wheel of Sisterhood. No, the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood, exactly. Which is from last year, which I have played, and that is definitely the next plan, because I think we will be only able to do it this week. I think I need to go and make a cozy coffee or something. I feel a bit broken, but I always do. And hey, at least I didn't cry on stream this time, because I very often do with games like this. Close, we were close though, especially yesterday. You could hear it in my voice, but yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around, Anna. I'm happy I could give you the conclusion to this. And yeah, see everybody else soon. Music back on. Bye!